Oh, hang on. What's that in the poll?
Nah, just playing with you. Have your finger over the camera. Wanted to make me entrance.
Well, it worked.
All about you, Paul.
He's hijacking the stream already.
So, next on the quiz.
Si, one day. Lee, you haven't been on yet, have you? This year?
No, not this year. No.
Well, it needs to happen pretty sharpish because we're getting close to the big finale.
I want to get on a movie one because when I was playing along when you did the last one, I was at work at the time.
Yeah.
I got a really good score on that.
Yeah, considering that work, you would have beat everyone on the stream. I think we did one that New Year or something like that.
Yeah.
I love how the first 15 seconds were already off topic. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
It's a blame Paul for that.
That's what we do. That's what we do. Anyway, before we get going, let's have a look at the chat. Obviously, everybody in the chat can see that I'm joined by Si, Paul, and Martin. And let's have a quick look. I thought I'd start it this way with all four of us in because we've got a lot to talk about tonight. So I figured it would be the best way to do it. Got more chance of accomplishing everything, I think. So first of all, we've got Danny from Press Start Gaming. You right, Danny? How you doing?
See you, Danny.
And we got this retro bait. Now then, lads. Oh, look, we got Martin too. Oh, Danny says he's looking forward to this. Yeah, I have been as well, to be honest. Got a few bits I want to show on here actually. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. And we've got Matt Retro Skelly. How you doing, Matt?
Good to see you, Matt.
Alex, you Star Gamer. I do believe he's probably right now got one eye on this and one eye on the football because I'm sure he said he was going to be watching football as well at the same time. So
who's playing?
Don't ask
Chelsea.
me. Let's see now. My boy has not mentioned that at all, and he's a Chelsea fan.
I see.
That's interesting. Yeah.
This stream's going to be way better than the football. Come on.
Well, if Chelsea's playing, yeah, probably.
You just lost a couple of subs there.
There's Jamie. Hope you're well, nerdy, mate. And the guests. Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you? Oh, Si said hello to everyone as well. Oh, what's this here? 4 beautiful. Right, okay. Have you seen that, Paul?
Yeah. Being very kind,
chef.
Harry's the chef. Tetley. Hey, it's always good to see Tetley in here. He's always very, very active in the chat, which is good.
Likes the micros.
Yes. We all love the micros, don't we? Let's be honest. Well, not all. Certain individuals don't, but all us sort of do. I want to be on the list for this show. Yes, we will have to sort that out. I definitely want to get you on here at some point, Danny. And oh, hang on. The missus has put the Lionesses, so it's England that's playing them.
Oh.
So yes,
got to mention the Red Roses, the ladies England rugby team, had an amazing result at the weekend.
Yes, I did see a bit about that. Yeah, it was said that they had, I think it was 3 tries, or was it 3 10-second tries, or 3 tries in 10 seconds? I don't know. It was one of them.
I think
it sounds better than the F1 was.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Soon would be better if we had to watch Liverpool.
Yeah, as a Liverpool fan, I tend to agree with that statement at the moment. I can't really argue. It's a true statement.
There's Bear. How you doing, Russ?
Good to see you, Russ.
We've got 8-Bit Rach. Hello, Rach. How you doing?
Can I just see it? Anyone who's watching, 8-Bit Rach has been nominated for YouTuber of the Month.
Yep.
I've been over there. I've voted. And it would be great. If you like 8-Bit micros, you're going to love 8-Bit Rach.
And swearing.
Yeah, lots of swearing. Check her out. She's just done a pickups video recently. I'll not spoil it and tell you what's in there, but definitely check it out and maybe drop her a sub and a vote.
Oh, I love this here. Look at this. He started already. Look.
Oh, God.
Oh. He needs help, doesn't he? He does. He needs help. Right. Okay. Right. I think that'll do for the comments. Let's get into... Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's get into our first topic, shall we? But before we talk about our first topic, I want to show this.
After a quick run around, the first thing we did was encounter Hobby Lodge here, taking on Retro-baited Arcade Plus. Things really started to heat up on the bonus stage. As you can see here, we have Retro-bait really concentrating, does not want to get felled by these balls. Here we go. He's really concentrating. Oh no, there we go, fell by a ball. Can the Hobby Lodge do any better? Now, Martin is a seasoned veteran of bouncing one's balls on the Amiga. He's very practiced in the art of ball bouncing, especially passing them back with a little paddle there. He loves doing that. So as we can see, he's much more accomplished at this than Retro-bait was, and he's doing very well. And it's, oh dear, it's all over for Martin too. Excellent.
Actually, the Titans on stage.
Do you know what's funny about that though? Is Martin was actually going to go up with his own joystick and plug it in as well.
when I see, and I should mention that was done by Rob Knots Gamer. I have linked him in the description below. If you're not subbed to Knots Gamer, go over and check him out. Very funny guy, as you can tell by that commentary there. Yeah, when I saw him put that clip in the group the other day, I thought, oh, I've got to ask him if I can use that. It's really good.
It was one of my favourite parts of the expo doing that. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would never do that sort of thing. I'm not a guy who gets up on stage, and it was Paul and Si saying I've got to go up there because I thought I was going to end up playing some 8-year-old and destroying them. Yeah,
yeah, you thought you were going to like fight this kid and you're going to get all competitive and.
Whereas I just thought I don't mind getting thrashed. I know I'm going to get thrashed anyway, so what have I got to lose? So I thought it would be good fun.
It was. I'm really glad we got and done it. It was a good laugh.
Can I just add? I think Rob's commentary was better than the actual commentator they had.
Oh, I couldn't understand the words you said.
Yeah, we got that clip where you couldn't understand.
It's like, what are you talking about? What
was it? Are you going to be? Was it channeling your inner Crash? And you're like, what?
Well, because I had like. I got one of these basically, but like the original one at the expo, and I had I was carrying it around like all day, and because it's Zap, but the Spectrum variant is obviously Crash, so she started going on about Crash, and for some reason I thought that she would know what one of these from the 1980s would look like, and I was like, nah, it's Zap, it's not Crash, and she's like, what? And I was like, eh. And this kind of just went on for a few minutes, and then it was like, look, she would just crack on with the game.
As Martin just walked up there with a Nerdy Geezer t-shirt on, he just went, yeah, that's me, I'm Nerdy Geezer.
Yeah, I did notice that when I saw
you got a shout out at Blackpool, Lee. It was for free advertising, you know.
I wasn't even there. Yeah, I did think that was funny when that came up. Yeah.
But in both of our defences, the joysticks were terrible joysticks. They were like falling to bits.
What were they? Were they just generic?
One was a Cheetah 125.
Really?
Yeah. The other one was.
That's what I had anyway. It was definitely a Cheetah one. I only know because I used to have one. I've destroyed many.
They weren't your trusty, they weren't your trusty cruisers.
Do you know, when you were buying that joystick, the amount of times you went, yeah, I'll buy it, no, I won't. Yeah, I'll buy it, no, I won't. And eventually you just went, sod it, I'm buying it.
It was like the disc boxes went in there. No, I'm definitely not taking those. And then we went back and got them.
Yeah.
There they are.
There they are.
I
don't need them. I don't want them. Ah, fuck it.
Martin, do you want to address this question?
We were. Much of that weekend, we explored each other's holes. That's for sure.
Jamie's got a good memory.
Balls, that's all I was doing.
Well, Martin did come back with an infection.
That's true. I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
went in his ear.
What the hell were you doing?
That was his other ball.
There's a challenge there from Retro Chef. He thinks he'd smash us both at IK Plus. I'll have to take him up on that.
I can see that being a stream.
Do you know what I mean? Come on. Whatever.
I think he had the Amiga for a week and it broke and he's never got one back.
Yeah, I think I need to sell one.
It's the best console that he ever had.
I'm the console, don't you start.
But yeah, so Sega Zombies put their great memory. It definitely was a highlight of the weekend. Like, just the even the crack we were having in the queue, waiting to go up and then go out there, and I loved personally the awkward moment between Paul and the announcer because I'm just watching this car crash happen on stage. I'm just like, yeah, this is amazing. It went on for far too long.
Can you remember that couple we were talking to as well? And they didn't even know what an Amiga was. Like, literally, I don't even know if they knew why they were standing in that queue.
I don't think they knew why they were at the expo. I don't think they knew anything about
They knew nothing. It's like they never experienced. Like, they just beamed down and went, "Oh, right, okay, here we are." And then, unfortunately, they got stood next to us. It just starts. Bah, 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 bah.
Right, before we chat a little bit more about this, I've got a question here because this seems to come up every time I'm in the front room, doesn't it? What's in your aquarium? Right, loads of catfish at the moment. My tiger barbs, the last one died out a few weeks ago, so I need to get some, I don't know, guppies or something. But I've got loads of catfish in here, basically.
You might want to know what the other thing is. Is that like an AT-AT or something?
Yeah, it's kind of like a rip-off of it because what they've done is they put little wheels, looks like wheels at the bottom and one single cannon, so it's a little bit different enough to not get done.
Does that annoy you that it's close enough but not quite the right thing? Being such a Star Wars fan,
kind of, but I have to remember the fact that my boy got it for me for Christmas, so you can't be too upset about it, you know. So yeah. Oh, here we go. We've got Mark. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you here. And I've noticed recently, watching his room tour, he's got a C64 Mini and I believe an Amiga Mini as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
there's nothing wrong with just having the minis, though. Not everyone can have the space for the full-size stuff.
I love
they break down all the time.
I love the Amiga Mini. I think it's a great bit of kit. I'm not going to lie.
It's the right mini to have. I mean, Spectrum haven't got a mini, have they? Because why would you? You know,
they have the Vega and the Vega Plus. Let's not talk about the Vega Plus, though. Absolute shit show that was.
Right. So, going back to the Blackpool Play Expo. So, did you guys play any unusual micros that you wouldn't normally see, or anything like that?
I'm trying to think of what there was there.
Well, what happened with me is, like, I was pretty much the last man standing on the Sunday. Everyone else had gone. Simon, you went exploring to the beach, or whatever, and Jim Tendo had gone back home. So what I'd done was I sat at the beginning of the micros, and I didn't know you were going to ask this question, by the way. And I literally played on every game. I just kept moving up and trying to use everyone. And I've done it with 8-bit consoles as well. And so I ended up, I spent about nearly 2 hours doing that. So, but yeah, so that was like just total uninterrupted gameplay because I was by myself, just being a sado. So I just decided to do that. So yeah, I played loads, and couldn't even tell you what half of them are called.
Yeah.
See, I played the Auric when I was there because I was really interested in one because I am getting one. But I ended up playing Mr. Wimpy. And really odd is Mr. Wimpy on the Spectrum. I struggled to get past the first level because it's a weird one. You got to deliver the parcels from one side to the other. Then it turns into a Burger Time clone. A hell of a lot easier on the Auric than it was on the Spectrum.
Yeah, I agree with that. Can I just say as well, the one thing that they didn't have at the Expo was an Amiga.
Oh no, they didn't. Thinking about it,
no, I didn't. An Atari ST, but not an Amiga.
No Amiga.
Not an Amiga of any kind. No Amiga.
I lodged a complaint. You know.
Wow, that really does surprise me.
Did you guys see the light gun games right down the bottom on the bar? There was like a section of all different light gun games set up with the guns and because the bar's quite high. It was all around there. That was good. Trying the different games on that.
Yeah,
I didn't. The first game I played on was. Can you remember when we walked in? It was Operation Thunderbolt. You know, because they've got like lots of arcades that you can like just free to play. And was it not me and you, Martin, that played that?
I don't think so. No,
because you were right. Someone went up with me. Oh, I think it might have been Alex.
Yeah, probably was. Because I joined you guys after.
And like it had no feedback on the Uzi at all. It was just sat there on a box and
If we're going to talk about multiplayer games, though, are we going to talk about Gauntlet 2?
Gauntlet 2 was fun.
It was good fun.
One of the best quotes ever on Gauntlet 2, wasn't it?
I know. The only thing is, he's not going to see it because now we can record it and put it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you did say what it was, but I can't remember now. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that now. Not right this second, but yeah. So I know it's not a micro, but one of you guys, it was either in your videos or photos, I could have sworn I saw a PCFX.
Yes, there was. There was the one side had like lots of Japanese and obscure consoles. The other side. So yes, that was there. I didn't actually get a chance to play it. They did have a PC Engine TV. I didn't even realise there was one. So it's like a PC Engine built in.
Speaking of Jim, you obviously saw him
I mean,
as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that's one thing I will say for the Expo is that the selection of, even though they didn't have an Amiga, which is obviously criminal, they did have a huge selection of stuff that I've never seen before. So it was really cool from that point of view. To just I didn't get to play them all, but it was nice to like actually see them in physical form and be like, oh, crikey, what the hell kind of machine is that? So that it was really good. And they seem to be, and I've been to other expos, these seem to be well set up and well cared for. Unlike when I went to the one in London and it was just, cables have been pulled out, joysticks have been broken, things have been turned off.
You got quite lucky though. You got every time I've been to one of these expos, the 3D Boy, Virtual Boy, that's what I'm saying, has never worked. That is the first time I've ever been to an expo and the Virtual Boys worked. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever played one. And actually, genuinely, it was actually really cool. I'm so glad I got to see one in the flesh and actually have a play of it. The Virtual Boy is a really cool I think
device.
they're like 350 quid, 400 quid plus.
Yeah.
So
I think it might be more than that now. Just to answer Mark's question, Geordie Slasher Game and it's not. It's how we the game. I'll always know Mark is Geordie Slasher Game, and do you know what I mean? But how we the games. I think it was. Can you lads discuss why the Amstrad CPC was the best micro? And I've got to admit, for me personally, the Amstrad CPC is a really, really good machine.
It is.
I genuinely feel a little bit sad for people who only had a green screen monitor because, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's got the best color palette of the 8-bit micros. At least
my cousin only ever had a green screen, and I genuinely, you can't really feel sorry for him because you played it regardless, and you didn't know any different. It genuinely wasn't until a couple of years ago when I put a SCART for mine and plugged it in, I actually went, wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was so bright. And I wasn't expecting it because I've only ever seen green screen. The problem is with the green screens now is, I swear, it's not just my eyes. They're not as clear as they used to be. You know what I mean? They're getting a bit blurry in the graphics on them.
It's looking at that spectrum for so long, Si. It's,
that's what it is.
It could be your eyes. I mean, as you get older, they get worse, right?
That colour blurring is really done it.
Just to address what Mark was saying there, keep watching, Mark, because I'm going to be showing something that might interest you. Yes, so obviously Jim Bagley's in here, and you guys met Jim Bagley. I believe you had something signed by him, didn't you, Si?
Me and Paul did.
Oh, you did as well, Paul?
Paul?
It's right here. I don't know if I'm allowed to show it, actually.
No, we picked these up from somewhere else, and then we took them to Jim, didn't we?
Yes, to get them signed.
To get them signed. And I'll tell you what, these games, I've just been playing and done a review on Baggers in Space. And if you like Hero and you like Jetpack,
they look good.
Absolutely going to love this game.
Yeah.
I wish I'd been able to afford back then to have bought that one.
Joystick, I'm going to say now. Do you remember how hard it was to play it at the Expo with the pad?
I found
it plug it in with I found it quite difficult.
When do I ever find a game easy?
And I found it a hell of a lot easier. And I don't know whether it's just because I've only ever played Hero and Jetpack with a joystick that it feels better playing it that way. But yeah, great games.
Well, for mine, because I absolutely love the artwork of Warhawk, I was like, I don't know. I was like, can't sign there. So we opened it up and put it inside. And
best place for it, to be honest.
Which is great.
They were showing, was it Castle Wolfenstein on the next? Was that? Yeah, it looked awesome, right?
Yeah. I tell you what, if you guys can ever get to an expo, give the Next a try because you'll be surprised what the Spectrum Nets can do. It really is next level.
Did you notice Mr. Romero was over there checking it out? Obviously, the mate went through, and he's watching Wolfenstein work on a specky on a Next. He must be thinking,
Yeah, but then again, this guy has seen his game played on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. True enough.
Yeah, see, I would love to have a Next, but unfortunately, I can't see that happening anytime soon. What's this? It was my first ever system, and yes, I had the green screen. I knew the difference. My dad played the Atari ST next to me. Yeah, yes. Yeah,
I like the form factor of the green screen more than the colour one. I think it's a sleeker looking design, whereas the colour one's just a big block.
It's more square, whereas the green screen is like more tubular.
To your point, Si, if you had a green screen when you were a kid, I remember my only TV I ever had when I was a kid was a black and white 14, like black and white. It might have been like an 11-inch TV.
You don't know any difference.
Your brain, I think, put colours in, right? I used
exactly,
to watch
I really think it does.
I used to watch the snooker in black and white, and I'd still know which colour. The grayscale in my head, I knew which colours were which balls. You know?
Was it not Spurs against
green screens? You can get used to it.
Was it not Spurs against Leeds when John Motson come out? For those of you watching in black and white, Spurs are the team in yellow. The most famous quotes ever. Brilliant. I was just going to say, I only ever played it on green screen as a kid, and it was my friends. But we used to play Harrier Attack on the Spectrum. Like, it was just on constantly, hammering that space bar, to drop your bombs. It was just, it didn't, you didn't know any different because that's all I ever saw. So I just assumed all Amstrads were green screen until about 2014.
What Jim's just saying down there, I actually forgot to take my copy of Midnight Resistance because I was going to get that signed.
I was going to say,
I forgot to take it with me.
Jim might regret putting that.
Jim's a great guy, though. And do you know what? Jim has got time for everyone at the event. The first couple of times I went to the Game Expo and the revivals, I was always wanted to speak to him, but never could because he was always talking to someone. Because he's just busy the whole time. Everyone wants to know about the Next. Everyone wants to know about the games, and he's happy to talk to anyone. So.
Didn't we kind of corner him? Not remember, he was trying to kind of get away.
He was trying to leave the
food. Yeah. Oh dear. I mean, I would take him stuff to sign, but he developed for the wrong system. We know this, right? So he should have come over to the Commodore and developed some C64.
No, he knows where the good place to code for is. As I'm sitting here in a Commodore 64 t-shirt.
Exactly. So you've worn a decent t-shirt for once. Come on, you know it makes sense.
Should I show what t-shirt I've got on?
I'm glad. I hope you got a t-shirt.
Oh, there you go. He's flying the flag.
But is it cold? That's why you got the extra layer on.
Oh God, yeah, it's freezing up here. It's absolutely
like the Arctic.
Yeah, I was going to say the temperature's got to be pretty close, haven't they? What's this? Sega's only a big part of a lot of people's childhood. Yep, that's true. I'm going to go and do my best to get in a massive arcade game. See, now I've got to be honest, right? I'm going to say this now, right? And I know Jim didn't do this one, so I'm all right saying this. I didn't like Midnight Resistance on the Commodore 64. I just couldn't get the grips with it. I couldn't. No.
So someone who's just about to leave the stream now.
Yeah, hi guys.
No, I didn't like it on the Commodore 64.
Really?
No,
I think it's brilliant.
I prefer the Spectrum one, and it's something to do with how big the sprites are and everything on the screen. And as I said, when we do the whole bash and everything else, and I did do a video about it, it's because I'm colourblind that I struggle with the colour palette of the Commodore 64. Nothing against the Commodore 64, but the way some people don't like the colour clash and how bright the Spectrum is, someone with my eyes and the way I see, it helps. You know what I mean? So that's just always my preference.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't like it, Lee, because I think from platforming the sprites,
I like how chunky it is.
Game, I think it's really good.
I like that chunky graphics look. Do you know what I mean? I like
the thing is, it's not the look that's the issue for me. It's the way it plays. I can't stand the controls. I don't like it.
Didn't Midnight Resistance have?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Didn't Midnight Resistance have an actual a dial or something like that on the actual arcade? Because the way you shoot the gun, it's like it rotates over the top and then rotates round, doesn't it? So I'm sure they had some kind of dial.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I say, all I know is that back in the day, I found it difficult to control the bloody thing. So I played it very little. But like I say, this is a thing. Obviously, I only got a Spectrum recently, so I haven't played the Specky version. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays.
Very different.
Yeah. So I imagine I'll probably quite enjoy that. So
yeah, well, if you've not been back to it, you should go back to it. There, you might. I think it controls brilliantly, and it's got. I like the loot system in it. I like a lot of it. I like the action. So yeah, I'm surprised you remember it the way you do, but maybe one to go back to. Maybe see if you still feel the same.
yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm always up for going back to a game that I might not have enjoyed, to see if it's changed. Same as I do with games I do enjoy, to see if they're still as good. I mean, I went back to Shadow of the Beast on the Amiga recently, and that was a game I really enjoyed back in the day. But then you play it when you're a bit older, and it's like, wow, the hit detection is crap on this game. Like,
I tell you what,
so
there's two I went back to. Whizball, which when you actually know how to play it, it's an extremely enjoyable game.
I couldn't stand that back in the day. I hated that game.
Mate,
I don't like the bounce mechanics of games.
I hated that game, but I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But if you actually read the instructions, I know it's mad. But if you like,
games came with instructions.
But honestly, the game that's in there is amazing. And the other one, is Clax. I used to hate Clax. And Si, I know you can't play it because you couldn't.
I'll
before you
be quiet.
But because I remember seeing you, and I'm like, wow, like I'd never played that game for ages, and I actually went back and played it, and it's a really addictive kind of like puzzle, like stack 'em sort of game. Yeah, I think it's really decent. It's good to see Trev. I saw Trev. Rock and Roller for the first time in the flesh, so I actually know what he looks like. I've never seen him before, so I'm glad to actually put a face to that name.
Am I right in thinking? Did he talk to Al at some point in Al's video? I don't know if it was.
I don't know. I've watched Al's video actually. Was it today? Yeah, I think it was today. I watched it. I watched a few Blackpool expo videos.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to say, I think Martin got his out quicker than anybody else. He was still jet lagged from the drive home.
Whoa. He got his what out?
I put myself in enough trouble without you putting me in.
Record that, please.
Yeah. It's better. What did I say at the end of the last stream when I finished it? I can't get it up.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was something along them lines.
Right at the end of the stream. Anyway.
Right. Okay. So we got a lot to pack in. So let's move on to the next topic. And I think we might go. Let's go with size one next. I think. When I find it. There we
Can you
go.
get it up?
Yeah, I'm not going that. I'm not saying that. No way. Right. Best and worst keyboards on micros. Take it away, sir.
Well, the reason why I want to put this question up is because you've recently bought 2 micros, and in both videos, you've been sitting there fondling the keys. So I just wanted to ask you guys, what was the best keyboard that you've used and the worst keyboard? So go ahead, and I'll say mine at the end.
Right. Well, the trouble is, if I say mine, I'm going to probably give my system away before I've actually shown it, aren't I? So, go on, Paul. You go. I'll do it.
Let's start with the worst, and I can only go by what I've used. Now, that means Commodore 64, Amiga. The Amigas might go. I really like the Amiga keyboard, actually. And for me, I think the Amiga keyboard is the best one. It's either the Amiga or the Commodore 128. The 128 keyboard on the Amiga, the 128 keyboard and the Amiga keyboard really have like a similar kind of light tap feel. So without a doubt, they're my favorite keyboards by far. The worst, and up to maybe 10 years ago, it might have been like I've probably only used like an Amiga and a Commodore 64. And it probably would have been hard to choose between them. But since kind of getting into trying different computers and that, I mean, if anyone can't guess this, then they must want shooting, because I would have hated to. I mean, Jim, here's a question I can ask for you. Did you used to program on an Amstrad and then port it over to the Spectrum?
I think Jim originally coded on a ZX81.
Yeah.
Because this keyboard is so difficult to use. It's oh my god! Like I really
for games, I think for games it's good. Once you've learnt the shortcuts, it's good. But just picking it up and just general use, it's confusing as hell.
But could you imagine trying to type on it, like trying to do 50 words a minute, or even higher?
Yeah.
Like
coding on that must
as
be
a developer.
hard.
Yeah, I can't imagine writing code on that.
Actually, you know what Scott just put up then? I didn't even consider the keys on the next.
Well, funny enough, like Jim just said a little while ago, best keyboard is the next.
Is it still classed as a microcomputer? Like, is it?
That's a good question because I mean, I would have thought it's 16-bit, isn't it?
I've got absolutely no Jim.
yeah, come on, Jim.
Can we just send you the link, mate, and you just come on?
I tell you what, Jim is someone you do have to get on the Maniacs at some point. With wealth of knowledge.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely.
Martin, what's yours then? Because
to be honest, it's not going to. I would agree, and I got to talk about the ones I've used, right? So, easily the worst is the ZX81. I think the spongy. As someone who types a lot every single day, a keyboard is actually quite important, you know. And I cannot imagine having to type hundreds, and not thousands, of lines of code on a ZX81 spongy keyboard. My goodness,
is it the same?
You've been like this trying to get
this.
But it's why it's got the shortcuts, so you didn't have to code. You didn't have to write the full words in. Once you understood its language, you only had to do one key press to do whole words.
Yeah, but I think it would drive you insane. My favorite keyboard is the Amiga keyboard, and it's the Amiga 600 keyboard because it loses the numpad, right? So that's something you used to use in the old, that was there for data entry back in the day. But most modern keyboards today don't have a numpad because they make them shorter and they can get a lot more better keys in there. So I've got the Amiga 600 in front of me, and it's a really nice keyboard to type on. I quite enjoy that keyboard. I mean, it's the same on the 1200, but the 1200 is that much wider because it's got that numpad. So I would definitely say, for me, I'm not a fan of the Commodore 64.
Going around fondling the keys just to see.
I'm just feeling
do the same here.
Yeah. I will say on the, as you know, I'm a fanboy of the Commodore 64. But
really?
Actually,
you hadn't noticed?
No, you wouldn't. Yeah. I know you wouldn't know that about me. I know it's like a big confession. But I do find the Commodore 64C's keyboard very spongy itself as well, and not very responsive. You do sometimes tap it and then have to type it again to actually get a response out of it. I mean, it could be a dodgy keyboard. I did buy it from this other guy on YouTube. So
wrote a lot of basic games for the ZX81.
Yeah.
Right, I've just seen there, Si. He said, "Send me the link. I'll jump on." Do you want to send him a link then, Si?
Yeah, hang on.
You got it on there.
Want me to do it?
Either one.
Yeah, Paul, you do it because I'll be talking about my one now. Now, yes. I can say the ZX81 has got a horrible keyboard, but that was it was done at cost saving, exactly the same as the rubber keyed Spectrum and everything else. But since then, I've discovered a lot worse keyboards. I mean, the Atari EXE, is it? Or EX, I always get the wrong way around. That, to me, it's an add-on keyboard. But that keyboard is spongy and hard to press all at the same time. You know what I mean? It's horrible. But taking the cake of the worst keyboard I've ever seen, and this is part of my pickups as well, is we've got the Auric One. Now, if you've ever seen an Auric One, it is basically a keyboard with Tic Tacs on it.
Yeah,
it's got a horrible spacing in between. Literally, a spacing put your whole finger, but they're really short and they're really wide. When you press them down, you see on here, they roll backwards. They don't press straight down. And typing on this is actually painful. This doesn't have the shortcuts and everything else. This is just a keyboard. You typed every letter in on its own. This was the first Auric, obviously. So this, their first attempt. But then they remodeled it, and they came out with what I actually think, and I've only recently discovered this one, is one of the better keyboards. Not the best. I would still put Amiga 600 as the best. Again, it's what I always had. It's what I use the most. But the Auric Atmos...
I did have a little go of that, remember, when you got it, and it does feel really... It's like a nice...
Yeah. It's solid. It's got really chunky keys.
Yeah.
And it's just got a nice feel and a nice form factor as well. But to
I
go
like the
from
look of it.
one system, the best and the worst, plus it's got that colour underneath it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a video in there.
Yeah.
And Si, the way that sits on the desk, is it slightly slanted as well towards
Yes,
you? Is it
if you
tilted
sit it on the
towards you?
desk,
It's like a wedge
it
shape, yeah?
sits like
That's
that. Can
right,
you see how the base is?
Yeah.
So it angles itself towards you as well. The corners. How many times have you had like a computer and you've been typing and the corners dig into you?
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
nice.
Yeah. So that's. I'm not losing my earpiece here. So that's
It's
my
not
two.
massively dissimilar to the Amiga 600 if you look at the shape
No,
of it
exactly.
and the wedge shape of it. So.
If this was their first one and they skipped this, I actually think this would have completely knocked the Spectrum off the top spot for.
What was the actual release price when that came out?
I'm still doing some research. I don't know.
Because I think the Spectrum was so popular because obviously
Price point.
£99, is that right? Or was it 149?
No, the Spectrum, the ZX81 was the first one that was under 100. And then I think it was 125 or 129, something like that. But then the price rapidly dropped straight after.
What was the 48K? Because, like, for me, because I didn't know about all them previous ones.
There's different price points because you could buy it as a kit, you could buy it as a 16K, you could buy it as a 48K. Yeah, you could buy it as a kit or fully assembled. So there was the different price points. So if you wanted to assemble it yourself, they took off 30, 40 quid. So, you know,
I wonder if out there's an unused kit.
There is. I've seen them.
Really?
Yeah, I know one person that bought one during lockdown, and they've actually got it framed as like the actual kit itself is all laid out in the parts.
That would be cool, man. That would be cool to do.
So yeah, that was my ones. Definitely love the Amiga, but these two have definitely took the top and worst spot of mine.
Yeah. What I love about the 600, the Amiga 600 got a lot of stick back in the day.
Yeah, it did.
And actually, a lot of people now it is the preferred Amiga because obviously you can upgrade it and you can do all the things to it. I think it is now the preferred model of Amiga. If you can.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing, Jim?
Not too bad.
Hey, Jim.
So I was waiting for a bit of a break in the talking, but you know these lot, they don't show up.
No, yeah. Can't get away them edgeways.
You've met them, you know they're like.
Yeah, it was a good event. I enjoyed it.
It was. I mean, the thing is, you've got to go there early, then leave late, haven't you? So you saw the whole thing.
Yep.
Jim, was there much interest from like sort of younger generations coming over and seeing what it was all about?
Yeah, they love playing the games.
Brilliant.
It's not just our games as well. They love playing like the arcade games. They love playing the retro console games. It's great. Just the next generation have the passion for it like we did.
Yeah, nice.
When me and Si were sat there and John Romero came over, what was he talking about? Was he like asking about like how it runs and stuff, or
yeah?
Because I seen you talking, I was like, where else could you be where John Romero was speaking to Jim Bagley? Do you know what I mean? It was quite, for me on the outside, it's a real moment.
Yeah, I said to him earlier on, I said, "No, you'll have to come over and have a look at the Wolfenstein. We'll get Wolfenstein running up on the next for you, so you can have a look, see what you think."
Can you link two together and do a two-player game on it?
I don't know what the performance would be like playing with the server, because you have to talk to the Wi-Fi unit through serial, so it might not be like incredibly fast. We haven't given it a full run, but we can definitely do mods and stuff like that.
Was there any mention of a Doom?
Or
was that classified?
a Doom for the next? No, it won't be Doom
for
the next.
But maybe that's what you're saying. Come on.
No.
So, quick question then, Jim, because we was discussing this a minute ago. What would you class the next as then? Because I mean, it kind of looks like a 16-bit. So,
well, it is technically an 8-bit because it's an 8-bit processor. It's a Z8. Well, it's a Z80N because we've added a couple of nice instructions.
Right. Okay.
Just to help with like banking memory and a couple of the instructions that I added, because a lot of the time over the years I've had people say, how do you get sprites on the screen, and how do you get do scrolling on the Specky? And to be honest, it's a. Can we swear it? No, it's a absolute pain the way the screen is laid out in memory, because it no, as you see it loading in when you're loading a loading screen, that's the order in which the bytes are sequentially.
Right.
So to get something to an address, to find a pixel address can be a pain in the arse if you're new to coding. So I added an instruction called pixel add, which takes the D register, which as E is the X position, well, X pixel, and D is the Y pixel, and then it automatically puts the screen address in HL for you. So you can just do
look at the blank looks on the
pixel add. Yeah. Basically, you can get direct access to the screen like in one instruction rather than like about.
So that'll help with the speed of the games, like with the
it helps us to be able to have like about 512 particles in the likes of Baggers in Space. That's as well as like all the rest of the game running and stuff like that. So yeah, it's.
I have to say though, that Baggers in Space. I think I saw it 2018. It was at the Revival. And it really was the first game that went, right, I need to get one of these computers. I hadn't got a clue what I was doing for the first 10 minutes. So I was like, well, this is Jetpack, where's the fuel? Flying around. I'm sure you had that quite a lot. But now to actually, all these years later, actually get a copy and to get it, from there and get you signed.
It's quite funny how this started. It was, Flash was wanting to get into Z80 and program on it. So I said to him, right, what we'll do is just think of a game that you liked that was playable, and then just try and clone it.
Yeah.
And he liked Jetpack, obviously, because it's a great game.
Yeah.
And he got it working, and I said, should we like it's playing quite nice. Should we like enhance it a bit and make it a bit bigger? Like, I don't know, like, when the fuel comes down, say we change it for sticks of dynamite, and then you blow a hole in the floor and go down, like Hero, because Hero was another great game that I used to love playing as well.
It is
and it just sort of grew from there, and we'd keep tweaking the physics of the player and the way things work, just like over and over, just to get it exactly how we wanted it.
So there's one of the stretch goals, wasn't it? Was for a sequel to that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stretch goals. I'm surprised. I mean, tell people when the second Kickstarter came out, how fast? Because you told me and Paul, how fast did this Kickstarter reach its goal?
It was.
It's like we had them cornered into the wall. So
it was about 45 minutes, I think. No, was it 40? Was it? I can't remember now. But
it was under the hour.
It was either 45 or 5. It was very quick.
And it just kept on going, didn't it?
Yeah, and it just didn't stop. And my phone was like vibrating off the table. It was ridiculous.
I've got to say, I love the cover art on Baggers in Space. I mean, there's definitely no mistaking who that is in the spacesuit.
Did you have a choice in that, or did the? Hang on.
Let's put Psy on large.
You have to put Jim next to it, then you can see it. But did you have a choice in that one?
No, basically, Lobo did a space suit thing, and then it's like, why don't you use the face off the Cabal that Bob did?
I've seen that one.
But the one that's got my face on. Basically, I stood at the back door in the back room of the house with me one side of my face to the window, which had the sun coming through, so it lit up my face like it does on the actual poster. And I did the pose, looking up like that and holding the gun, and Bob like basically Photoshop my head off the real photo and then put it into the Cabal poster, which was ace.
Oh, okay.
I had it on my my Facebook profile for ages until I changed it for the current one, which was the Ollie Frey one within passing recently. So
Yeah.
His artwork was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah,
amazing.
both of them were amazing artists.
Yeah, we was talking about that on I think it was the last stream we did, and Sega Zombie Scott's got one of his books and was showing us all the artwork in it. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah,
I like the one where the zombie's tearing his own heart out. I love that.
yeah.
Really good. Well, Jim, are you all right for a while to stay with us?
Yeah, sure.
Because I would love to get your take on Si's question when I can find it.
Yeah.
Have you lost it again?
Which one?
Yeah, I've
Keyboard.
lost it. I've never had it, Si.
Yeah.
Best and worst keyboards on micros. What would your
Best and worst? The best, obviously, is the specky one for the next. I'm not just saying that because I have one here and it's nice and we made. But we took our time on it, even like when people were complaining about it being late. But we knew that we had to make it like of decent quality. I mean, we wanted something that we would enjoy typing on as well as you guys.
Yeah.
So we like if we'd have like buckled in and just did what everyone said and just got it out, just got it out as it was, because they wanted it quicker or whatever, I wouldn't have been happy with it. I wouldn't have been anywhere near as happy as I am with the keyboard now.
I think that's the right way to do it, to be honest. I mean, take a bit more time and get it spot on.
Let's face it, though,
Just add the extra quality to
the
it.
other Spectrum devices that came out before that were rushed just proves how wrong you can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only a couple of extra months, but those extra months, in my eyes, were definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Because it's made a hell of a difference to the feel of it and typing on it and playing games when you on, because I like playing games on the keyboard anyway. So, it's QAOP space on the next keyboard is just perfect. As worst keyboards, that's a good one. I'd say the console ones because they don't have keyboards.
That's a cop out. That is.
It is a cop out. I know.
He didn't want to see a Spectrum. That's why.
I'd probably say the Atari, was it the 400? Was it that had the keyboard like the ZX81?
Oh, do you know what? I actually don't mind that one.
Yeah.
I like that it's got raised edges.
Mm-hmm.
You actually still feel, but I wouldn't like to code on it.
Yeah.
I think me and you differ with keyboards. That I play games and you write games.
I still play games with keyboards.
Well, let's be honest. You know a keyboard probably better than anyone else does. So it's perfect, really, for you, isn't it? Yeah. I've just realised I never actually answered this question.
Are you going to roll it onto your question? Because that's what I think you were going to do, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll answer the worst and then roll it into my bit. Yeah? Okay. Right. So Jim's going to hate this. The worst for me, and I'm only going by what I've actually used, was the Spectrum 48. Like I did not like the rubber keys. I hated them. Yeah. That's the one for me. Sorry, Jim.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I had to make a game on that, the first game. That
I don't know how you did that.
In the industry, which was Throne of Fire for Mike Singleton. And that was written entirely on a 48K keyboard.
Jim, how many lines of code roughly was that? How many lines of code was that game?
I can't remember, but it was a lot.
Just
did it almost get launched?
How much goes into these games?
I know, yeah.
I've got a question, Jim. Like,
sure.
I've heard that some people used to sometimes code on the Amstrad,
Yep.
and then like port it to the Spectrum. Like, did you ever do that, or?
No. Basically, I started on the Specky with started writing games professionally on the Specky on the 48K. Then I upgraded to when I went to Canvas, I was working on Roadrunner and a couple of other games that they were on the Amstrad PCW 8512. It's like their version of a business computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a CPM machine. But had the same floppies that you could plug into a normal Amstrad or the +3, so we could get files across quite easily. Yeah. And what else? Then I went from the PCW to the Einstein Tatung Einstein.
I had an Einstein. I've never.
They're massive computers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another CPM machine. Yeah, we used to write on that and then squirt it over serial to a board that expansion board that you plug into the back of the Specky. And then we moved on to STs when we were doing stuff with Ocean. Well, later on when Ocean started, at their assembler written on the ST.
What? So you could write on the ST?
You write on the ST which was great because you got 512K, so you had enough to fill a Specky. So you could have all your source and assemble it and fill up 64K or 128K of the ST and then download it to the Specky over the serial. The ROM was like a multi-face, but instead of being able to, you just press the button and the ROM would take over, and then that would receive data from the ST, and then basically put it in and
save
into RAM, and then you could run it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that one I didn't know. I knew nothing about the ST to Spectrum. That's a new one.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
10 years old.
So I used to do all the graphics tools for special effects and Rage, and we do them all as TSRs, that they'd stay in memory, and then you'd run. Dog wants to go out, and then you'd run. All right. I'll back in a sec.
Oh, mate. All right. While Jim is sorting the dog.
Whoa, that sounds wrong.
Yeah, it does sound wrong, doesn't it? Yeah.
There's another one when we call that.
Oh, God.
You got to be careful what you say these days.
The worst part is it's Jim Bagley I'm talking about when I say that. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Right, don't tell him. I said that you was let's put it in a way that doesn't sound as bad, that you was letting the dog out, but of course how I said it did not sound like that a minute ago. Oh God. Done a Martin.
No, that's a special skill, that is.
Yeah. Oh man. I wish Martin could remember.
I remember exactly what I said. But
he's not putting it down on evidence.
Yeah.
That sort of comment sticks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just noticed in the
Blackpool stays in Blackpool.
In the text, Tetley, is there a sequel planned for Bags in Space?
Yes, he did ask that a little while ago.
There is a sequel. There's two actually. There's the one that was part of the Kickstarter stretch goal, which is Bags in Space, the Detour, which is new levels for the same Bags in Space, and there's another Bags in Space, which will be Bags in Space 2. We haven't got a working title for it yet. And that will be like a different game altogether. So, yeah.
That's cool. Looking forward to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just happy to get his. I mean, as soon as the next Kickstarter comes out, there's going to be new games that are coming out for.
Oh
it.
yeah, definitely.
So I better start saving now, to be honest.
And Tetley, yeah, well, if you bring your next, I'll sign it for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, he did say that. It's funny, isn't it? Because it probably won't be just the next. He'll probably bring loads of other stuff as well.
So much fun.
Oh, Scott's already put that's one for Swap Shop. Yeah, that clip will get cut. What I just said. Oh, I don't know if you've ever watched Swap Shop. I told you.
Yeah.
You have, yeah.
Can I just make an announcement?
Takes those days and.
Angela Lansbury's died. Like, she's just died, and Murder She Wrote is one of the best. But I used to
that's
back in the day, man. I've just seen it flash up on my phone. I'm like, I really liked her as well.
You remember in Bedknobs and Broomsticks? I mean,
I love that movie.
Yeah, that was...
Murder She Wrote.
Sega Zombie. I am doing. I'm in the process, as well as loads of other games. I'm in the process of converting Midnight Resistance and Cabal to run on the next with next graphics.
Oh wow!
Oh, that sounds.
You're
good.
getting him excited now.
Yeah.
Obviously,
the version might be better at that point. Yeah.
Obviously, I would need to get the rights to release it, to sell it. But so I won't sell it. I'll probably just release it once it's done.
Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of games now which get released. You can't find who owns it and stuff like that and get the rights, can you?
Yeah.
Can you not make it like I don't know, 11:59 p.m. Resistance or
Yeah.
Midnight. You can break a couple of things.
There's loads of different ways you can say Midnight Resistance.
Well, you've made Sega Zombies Day.
Ohms signing, because Ohms is obviously resistance. You could put midnight and then just
Midnight Ohms. Yeah.
Yes, we can do this.
Late night Ohms.
Just saw a comment here from
Midday
Retro
Resistance.
Steady Matt. No, not that one. That's the wrong one. It's this one.
Thought she was already dead.
Yeah.
Apparently, it might have been her birthday today, 96.
I just read the news. It was 5 days to her birthday, so she's 96. So that's a bloody good innings.
Oh yeah.
Totally
lucky.
Midday Resistance.
How much are the next going for these days? It depends what people, because you can only get them for like private sales now, can't you? At the moment.
I don't know.
Yeah, because at one point when the first Kickstarter sold out, people were selling them for over $1,000 online.
Yeah. I've seen a couple go for
No way, like, come on. There may be someone who doesn't know the story how you got one. This is worth.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
How I got one?
Said, no, how I got one.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah. I would never be able to afford one. I was looking at the end goal and stuff like that, and one came up in a raffle. So I thought I'll have a go. £5 a ticket. I'll have a go. And not all of the tickets got sold out, or not all of them got paid in time, and my number came up. So as Paul will vouch for, I was a little bit annoyed.
Fucking raging.
Yeah. So then eventually it was all sold out, and then the raffle was like it was a Wednesday, so the next one will be a Saturday. And on the Saturday, I wasn't paying much attention. I don't care. I wasn't going to win. The same number came back out again.
Twice in a row. Same bonus, Paul.
And the best thing is, it's a guy who was selling it local who actually dropped it off to my house, so it didn't even have to go with the post.
Yeah.
Do you know what? When some things are meant to be, some things are
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. It's so jammy. You got to be the luckiest person on earth.
I remember messaging you, Paul. Was like, I've just won a next, and he went, "You what? Like, you just won a what?"
I knew that what had happened, and I knew that the only way you could have won it again is
same number.
Came out, and I'm like, "Are you what, like?" Because I was in on that as well. I think I had. So first time, obviously, I was like, "I had nice one." I was like, "Well, do you know what? You can't argue that. It was just meant to be. It was meant to be."
Yeah.
I said it's great. I have since getting the games, I've been playing it quite a lot the past week. So
yeah,
I did go down the Engo route because, like, I'm kind of stuck. Like the prices people are selling for on eBay is too much. The Kickstarter 2 came out at the wrong time. Kickstarter 1, I wasn't even aware it existed.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know about it.
Here's one for you though.
Oh,
Will there be a
Kickstarter
Kickstarter 3?
Of course there will.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, but for the time being, I've got the Go, and that came in like a 48k box. But then I bought this one. I put it in this. The keyboard on this is pretty cool as well, to be fair, and it's quite a nice looking machine.
Yeah, it is.
I've
done
got
a
the
good job with the Engo.
that there. You know, it's still numbered on the side. It's got everything written on there that you need.
Cool. Yeah.
And it was a joy to put together. I actually enjoyed building it. You know,
Yeah.
That's why I'm so excited to hear that there's still some kits for 48Ks that might exist, because I'd love.
I think there's still some kits for ZX81s about as well.
I know, but it's not nostalgia, but I know that there's games on the 48K that I enjoy playing.
Yeah.
So it would definitely be one of them. I'd love to build one of those.
Yeah. Right.
I've got a question for you guys and for the people in the audience, right? With the delay of the FPGAs, like we're talking a year for getting the parts, would it be wise? And I know we don't normally do another Kickstarter before the last one is finished, and we wouldn't normally do it, but this isn't normal circumstances because it's an extra year to wait. Like if we did another Kickstarter now, for instance, it would still be a year before we'd get the FPGAs. So because it's such a long wait, rather than make people wait till the end of this one, which is like next year, like probably we don't get the chips until June, so it'd probably be August before they get shipped and they get made up and shipped. So then we'd have to do the Kickstarter then, and then wait another year for the chips. Would it piss people off if we did another Kickstarter?
I think if you explained the reasons why,
but it would only literally be because we'd have to wait another year from the end of this Kickstarter. So it'd be 2 years from now rather than a year and a bit from now.
What about if you made a Kickstarter like with a lower amount, like the Kickstarter 3? Or, I mean, obviously there's no way you can offer people from Kickstarter 2 like a discount. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, if anything, the price has gone up because the price of chips
a lot.
Everything's gone up.
Do you know what I mean?
Especially shipping. Shipping's gone stupid.
But I mean, how many Kickstarters don't even happen? You know, like
exactly, yeah.
So at least personally, from my point of view, within the
with the next, right? We
like,
have everything.
Trust you, so I think whatever you do,
everything sitting in a factory at the moment, waiting to be started on. Just waiting on the FPGAs. Everything else we've got.
I think because you've got credibility of delivering on a Kickstarter, it does give you that ability to then maybe run multiple at once. I've backed like 30, 40 Kickstarters over my last few years, mostly in the board game sector and stuff like that, because it's a really popular place to get board games. And I do see lots of companies that haven't yet delivered on their existing Kickstarter, yet start another one. And you do kind of think, oh,
I personally, I'm also the same kind of person who doesn't like... You know, when they start something before they've even finished the last one. And I wouldn't be doing it. It's literally just because we don't want.
But you've already proved previously that you can deliver.
that we can do it.
I mean, I'm more comfortable with it when I know they've delivered on something, and then they're going to deliver on the next thing. So I think because you've got that credibility with the community and you've delivered a great product, I think people are going to be a lot more comfortable about.
Well, it's not even like we've delivered a. Well, I hope to think we have delivered a great product. It's just that we're still like pushing, the everything with it. We're doing the next chat. We're getting like network games working. We're still like adding to it and building the community and everything. So
And I think that for people who don't know much about Kickstarter, you should never consider Kickstarter a pre-order system. That is the worst.
I know the amount of people that think that they've ordered it and then it's like, I ordered it like a year ago or 2 years ago. It's like it still hasn't been. It's like, well,
the risk is totally on the person who's backing the Kickstarter. You have to understand that this thing might not happen for very genuine reasons. And the reason why you're paying the money is because you really want to invest in that and try and make it happen. If you get a result at the end of it, fantastic. And 99% of the time you do. I've had very few Kickstarters fail on me. But when it does, that is the risk of a Kickstarter. It isn't a pre-order system for things. If you want that, go to a supplier of tools and services and products and buy it from them. But this is more backing someone's passion.
Get it in Amazon at some point.
That definitely leads on, like, to my question, what I wanted to ask. Let's compare it against the Commodore 64, like Maxi or something like that. Like, is there any way that you guys are going to be able to make these to put into like general kind of like shops where people can like buy it? Like,
I'd love to get it on Amazon.
So, like, how from where you are now,
to
making that step, like, what do you need from like the consumer?
Basically, it's all down to funding, because to get it in the shops, you need to have like so many thousand units to send to the shops. And to do that costs an absolute arm and a leg. So it's just literally down to funding. Like if we had like someone that was wanting to invest, then that would be
like a major shareholder.
That'd be like a perfect opportunity to say,
right, okay.
Not yet, because we're still doing the. We
know Bank and Balance
usually like
honestly, you should go to the Dragon's Den, because you can prove that this sell.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but again, that would, if we were going to go to the Dragon's Den, it'd probably be after we did the second Kickstarter, or because there's no we, like I say, we just don't like jumping too far. Welcome back.
You need that success story and trajectory to show that.
And it also shows that
actually
has then done two machines shipped, well, two runs of machines shipped. It also shows
the horizon.
We're dedicated to it and want to go further, take it to the next step.
Well, fingers crossed, mate. Yeah,
there's a few people. Nice. There's a few people in the chat talking about it. Like Alex has put here, as long as you clear your intentions about the chip problems, no one will complain.
That's it. It's like, if it wasn't for the chip problems, the first one would have shipped by now. Well, the second one, sorry, would have shipped by now, and we'd be on the third one anyway. So it's
I mean, what did the price of the chip start off at, and what are they now?
It's so frustrating. You would not believe. It's like there's so many people wanting us to do the third Kickstarter, and it's like, well, we've got to wait. And it's like, just want to get them out there so people can enjoy them.
I love Skelly's comment here. Retro Community Consortium. Let's all club together.
Spectrum owners out there.
Called Kickstarter.
Well,
yeah. No, I would love to have a next. I seriously doubt that will happen anytime soon, but I'd love to have one.
Yeah.
Oh,
never say never.
Never say
I'll have
never.
to wait for one to appear on the swap shop, and then I'll pick it up.
I think you spent enough on Swap Shop, Martin, haven't you?
Well, that's my number one dealer.
Yeah. That and the Retro Realm, right?
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Yeah. Let's give Scott Shop a mention. Got to be done.
Yeah, there's definitely demand out there for the next, for the third Kickstarter, and so, like I say, if we could get investment at some point, then I'll do my best to get it in the shops.
Yeah, it's a great looking system. I mean, I have to say, from seeing Si show us his, it does look really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it also looks like the next logical step of what a Spectrum would be.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, totally.
It doesn't seem out of place.
No, not at all.
Let's go over there.
Yeah.
Edge. Yeah.
I've seen people doing the mods where they light them up, though. It seems a bit unnecessary, that, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
What's that? Get Saving Now, Nerdy Geezer for Kickstarter free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let me know a couple of weeks before if it's happening so I can like.
Yeah, we'll do.
Get selling some of those hit squads.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Look, Scott's
Never-
Retro Realm could be the next official next store.
Could be the first official next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's this? Problem is FPGAs are popular at the moment with Mr. etc. So the chip shortage isn't going to end soon.
What's Mister?
Well, someone was saying to me, don't they? I don't know for sure in this, but
the thing is, right? They are AMD bought out Xilinx or Xilinx or Xlinx or however the hell they pronounce their company name, and so hopefully when they've taken over, it's just a case of them moving it over to their factories and getting their guys working on it. So I don't see it being a problem. It's just that they're just having to play a little bit of catch up between now and when they're back to normal. So I reckon it won't be too long before it's like back to some kind of normality.
Yeah.
This comment
Over Kickstarter, like buying future me a present. That is very true.
Yeah.
I must admit that
I forget I've done them, so I'll do
Yeah.
a Kickstarter. 3 years have passed, and a massive box will turn up, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what that
Martin's
is.
already
Oh,
playing
that's
games
right.
that haven't been designed yet.
Especially with board games, because board games on Kickstarter get out of control
Yeah.
with the amount of miniatures and stuff that come in, and then you end up getting
Yeah.
6 boxes delivered, and you're like, yeah, I remember that. Years ago.
Well, it's a nice surprise, isn't it? At the end of the
Exactly.
day, if you forgot about it and it just turns up.
Yeah, but how many have you forgotten about and don't turn up?
It
Well-
would be nicer if we didn't have all these issues and they'd have been out a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Mind you, saying that though, longer people wait. I mean, there's that excitement then when it gets there, and
Yeah,
I
know. I can't wait to the day that we can give you a photo and say, look, this is the FPGAs, they've arrived.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like,
and everyone's just going to go, when are they coming
have
out?
we got 'em yet? Are they out yet? Are they out yet?
yeah. And then
Why
you'll have
haven't you
loads of
shipped them yet?
YouTubers doing
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
You do that picture for maybe about a week and then go, tomorrow. Because
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm going to just nip into this bit here because I've got a couple of pickups which relates to the worst and best keyboard. So our first pickup is... Oh, let's put me on large screen so then you can see properly. There we go. Acorn Electron. Now, I think this has got a great keyboard, and in my opinion, and Si will know this because in my video that I did, I just couldn't help keep playing with the keys, but it's got a great keyboard on it. Is it a mechanical keyboard on this, Si? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
It definitely
I don't know.
seems. It definitely feels like one. It's got it's a very good keyboard, and when you consider this was like a kind of budget system,
Yeah.
it's amazing how they done it. I think.
Their build quality was a hell of a lot better than the Spectrum back in the day, but the Spectrum was just more supported, wasn't it, by the games?
Yeah.
So,
Financially accessible as well, I'd say.
yeah.
So the reason I picked
Well,
this up was because I had some nostalgia for this back in the day. So I used to play this at a youth club. So
Yeah.
I was going to ask you where your nostalgia from that came from, because you've never said that you had one in the house, but in a youth club, that's
yeah,
interesting. Didn't know that.
and the game I used to play on it was Starship Command, which is why when I did my first video for this system a few days ago, it was Starship Command I played.
I was going to ask, was it a youth club or young offenders? I can't remember.
I could understand why people might think that, Martin. Yeah. I mean, even now, right? You look at the line of work I do. I work in security, and even now, I go in shops and I get followed by their security. Like, that's laughable in itself, isn't it?
So Adidas top, mate. It's
You should change it to Dodgy Geezer.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in in my first job at console computers, and basically the Commodore 64 guy used to go to a local event. It was in a church and like a copy place where loads of kids were out there playing games. So he told me, you should come along one day. So I did. And you never guess who we met there.
Go on.
Matthew Smith.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That is a surprise.
What's he like then in real life?
It was all right. I think I was a bit too awestruck at the time to like take it all in.
Like me and Si on Sunday.
The worst thing is, I was sitting there playing the GameCube, and all of a sudden somebody just put their hands over my eyes behind me and went, "What the hell's that?" And it was you, Jim.
Yeah.
It was like...
Nice.
The first time I met him, I ended up cornering him in a corner where the exit door was.
Yeah, he was trying to make a run for it.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, thinking about that, when you put your hands over Si's eyes, could you imagine how that could have gone?
I know.
That could have gone horribly wrong. Yeah, so the other thing I picked up for the Acorn, because it's a compact system and I like the form factor, I wanted to keep it that way. So what I got was, I'm going to put it on main screen again, was I got the...
we can't see it because the light's shining straight
no,
onto it.
there you go. Now you can see it. The LSD128.
Yeah.
So takes no bigger than an 8 gig SD card.
Yeah.
Joystick port as well, which of course the
You
Acorn
don't need
did not
anything
have.
bigger than
I was going to say, an 8 gig SD card to that system is
know,
astronomically big.
Exactly.
It's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, and of course when you plug it in, you switch it on, it shows that it's got 160k. So yeah, good bit of kit. I'm not going to lie, it's not cheap.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
I think it's worth the money. And thinking about it, I mean, the other way of using a joystick would be to get the +1 extension, and I imagine that's probably quite expensive itself, isn't it?
It's about £100 the extension is now. Yeah.
There you go then. So I save money. So yeah, and it's smaller. So yeah, but that wasn't the only micro I got, because there was one other I was after, and
you work out me holding in one hand.
I'm still holding it. Look. Yeah. I don't need to blow this up because it's so big anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that is the Amstrad CPC 464.
Is
now,
that one the American guy was like using as a guitar?
Did you see that guy walking around the Norbeck with it on his like it was a
boombox? Yeah.
I mean, I've got to say special thanks to Sega Zombie Scott for this, because he knew I wanted one, and on eBay they're generally going for about £150 these days.
Yeah.
And he saw it on Facebook.
Exactly.
And it was £43, and
Okay.
he tagged me in it. Obviously, I had to pay postage on top of that. It worked out, I think, what was it in the end? £53, maybe, something like that. Yeah, bargain. So, yeah. Sorry, it was £45. Then the postage worked out 53. So yeah, really happy with that. Unfortunately, I haven't used it yet because I need to get a PSU for it. But yes, so.
Did you program games for the Amstrad as well, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Sadly, though, they didn't want to pay an artist, so they basically got the artist who did the speccy version to do a quick colour, which was like 5-minute job of all the speccy art to run on the Amstrad. Initially, they did say, can we just use the Commodore 64? And I was like, well, no, because the graphics are different to the code, because the sprite sizes are different, and it just it'd take longer to do, a lot longer, and it wouldn't look as good because like.
So all those conversions that we hear about when they see him, it's like a spectrum.
I literally wanted an artist. I asked, can we get an artist? And they're like, no. So it was just a case of.
Isn't it the same with the MSX though? There's a lot of really lazy ports across to the MSX from the Spectrum as well, which are literally, some of them have still got exactly the same screen. They didn't even bother to change anything.
Yeah,
What
totally.
still says like ZX Spectrum or something on the box?
I think some do, yeah.
Really?
Or use the Specky font.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a name for a channel, isn't it?
Wow. So didn't he used to watch Pete on a retro tip and then started watching
Swap Shop? He's watched Swap
Shop. And
yeah.
You see, there's a famous saying shit rolls downhill. Finally got down to us.
Yeah, that's a name you definitely don't forget. Well, the minute I saw it, it's like, yeah, I remember that on Swap Shop.
Brilliant.
I know.
Have you seen Skelly's comment about he's glad he's not having to do his pickups, given the amount of stuff Skelly's
The pickups, he'd still be going there in a week.
Yeah,
that's a stream on its own. Like just that. Maybe you should do.
Yeah,
when he gets
Matt. Yeah, Matt's finally out of hospital, and a full week later, he's still opening boxes.
He'll get home and find that he's not welcome home because his missus would have kicked him out when all this stuff turns up.
He can build. He can live in the boxes now.
I was going to say he's got enough boxes to live in there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He can make a house out of tapes. That'd be amazing.
Now, obviously, I did have a banner here for Cy showing his, but he's already shown his micro today. Do you want to show it again?
Yeah, well, it's just the Oryx. It's these two that I picked up, and I have to say, I would not have these if it wasn't for the Retro 5, because these came up at the wrong time, just before Blackpool Game Expo, and Paul, Scott, Lee, and Lee all chipped in to get this, which I said I get paid in a couple of days, so I'll sort you guys all out. But I wouldn't have been able to get one otherwise.
Can I just say, that's what friends are for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the guy that was selling it, as I said as well, because I've been talking to him quite a bit, because he also sourced me some games for it as well. And I said, because he watches the channel that I do, and I said, yeah, I'm going to show this off on the channel. And he went, oh, I've got a couple of Oric ones. And I said, well, how many have you got? And he went, only about 20. 20 of these.
Only.
Yeah, exactly. The guy was hoovering them up when nobody was buying them and got everyone. So I said, could I borrow one for the video to do a comparison for the two? And he went, yeah, no problem. And he turned up at Blackpool because he didn't live too far away and dropped them off to me by hand. So, yeah.
So is it just a Gen 1 and Gen 2? Is it
basically inside? What I've been told is they're identical.
Right.
It's literally just the case revision of them. And then on top of that as well, and I think this is the weirdest thing to find, is I actually found a tape deck for the Auric Atmos, which apparently is harder to find than their Auric Atmos. So I've actually got the matching tape deck, which goes with it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love the black and red styling of it. It's
I think that's the thing. It's like no other tape deck would actually look as good next to it, but this one, it looks the part, doesn't it?
Looks
really?
wicked.
So,
It reminds me of like Howl or something. Do you know what I mean? You know, that black and red.
Yeah. I love the colours
looking
of it.
forward to. I've got videos coming out on these. I'm waiting for a SCART for this one because the picture at the moment's got like horrible bars down it. That's just the way it is. And then obviously I'll do a video, and then quite a few. The odd thing is, there's not a lot of homebrew for the Auric, where you'd normally find a lot of homebrew, say for the Spectrum and Commodore 64. I think there's a little bit, but not a lot. There's not really supported for it. But you know, if there's any out there, I'll find it.
Yeah. Could definitely count on you for that, Si.
Yeah, but I am going to get. There is an SD solution for it, so I will be picking one of them up. But if you think your one wasn't cheap, the one for this definitely isn't cheap.
Well, do you know, I forgot to mention, the thing that's interesting about this is when you pick it up, you actually get a zip file that you download.
Yeah.
Open it up, put it on the SD card, and I don't know if it's a full library, but it's a lot of games. So technically, it kind of pays for itself, right? Because you're not having to buy all the games.
Yeah, and then you haven't got to load them all in and all the rest of it. And it's just...
yeah. So,
but yeah, that's my pickups. That and obviously the Spectrum Next games.
Oh yeah,
which was the main thing I picked up.
Ages ago.
See now, look, everybody, look at the baggers in space. Look, there you go.
Wrong one.
It's that one right at the front. There you go.
Yep.
Look, see, no mistaking.
No mistaking that is.
So yeah, great games.
I was just going to say, I can show some of the things I got. I didn't get that much. I got me like a Zap folder, but that's in the house because it's got to stay in there. But,
Precious.
Yeah, it's actually precious to me. So I picked up these little
Coasters,
coaster sort of things. I just think these are really cool. I picked up one last year, but I managed to pick up some absolute classics.
Oh, Silent Hill, you loved that, didn't you?
On the PlayStation. So I'll just have to lift my wine up because last year I only got one because there was only there was only a few left when I got there. And
but this time the store was full, wasn't it,
So this time I was straight in there. I picked up Formula 1 on the PlayStation 1. This was like probably the first racing game, like Formula 1 game that I played that I was totally immersed in. You know, you've got like Murray Walker doing his commentary. And then I saw this game and I thought this would be...
Oh, you're not going to show it. You're going to show it.
I'm going to show it. I saw this game and I paid £1 for it. And I've got a feeling that one day this is going to be a rare game because it is...
groceries.
This was a kid.
It's actually got written at the bottom.
Jim will fix it.
Oh God, yeah, he's on there.
As seen.
Oh,
did you not realise that, Lee?
I think I blanked it out of my mind.
And this was the game. And if you can see right up there, we all know who that is.
Oh God, the devil incarnate. Yeah.
Just make sure when you do that video, you click the "Not for Kids" bit.
Yeah.
When you upload the video.
Yeah, I thought for £1, I was like, I've got to take it. I've got to. So
maybe what you should do is take the inlay out and draw some horns on that. Right.
I've got other stuff as well. Obviously, got that signed by Jim, and so that was cool. But yeah, I did get like a Zap folder. It's 1985. It's the original Zap folder. It's got issue 1 in all the way to 12. It's the first year of Zap 64.
Oh, Paul, you've given me a brilliant.
I was about to say,
You give me a brilliant segue. Look, because
I was just going to say, like, I definitely expect to see some videos based on that because I want to have a look through it, and there's got to be some talking points in there from 1985. I don't know. There's got to be something that I can share with you guys about them. That'll be fun. So yeah, I was thinking about doing that.
Not going to be the same without Holly, though.
No, I know. No. And look, I've actually got mine right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's put you up. Hang on. So that's good. I do like that. That's special.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is, and like I remember, like when I was a kid and I used to watch, I used to read like Zap 64, and it always had like the headshots on, you know. And then when like I started getting interested in retro gaming and the Commodore 64, like in I think it was 2015, 16, something like that. One of the first things that I wanted to find out was who used to do that artwork. So, and then I ended up going to the site and that, and then eventually started doing where you could like send them a photo and you do your headshot for you. So yeah, I'm just so glad that I managed to get one. Some of the artwork was, well, no, all of his artwork was just amazing. Yeah. Like the coffin he had was just absolutely stunning. And he, like the urn as well is just beautiful, really. It's so sad to see, you know, but
if you're going to go in style.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely did.
He was amazing at what he'd done. Like, you know, when some people just end up finding what they were made to do.
The weird thing is with that, there's a lot of people who, without even knowing it, have seen his artwork.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, it was superb. Super. Can I just say, Mark, who's put a comment there for 20th Century Gaming, he did comment. I think it was when I put a link to this stream on my community channel. He did put something up, and he had a question to ask, but I can't remember what that question was. But maybe if he puts it in the comments, we could quickly cover it. But he did put a question in there. I meant to tell you before, but I completely forgot. So
no, if he drops it in the chat, we'll have a look.
That'd be cool.
While we're waiting on that, this is obviously Martin's question. Take this one away, Martin.
Yeah, sure. And it just came off the back of obviously I've recently got onto the Patreon of obviously Zap64 and Zap Amiga, and of course there is the Crash magazine for those strange people out there like Spectrum. But
there's an Amstrad one as well, Is it called Amtex or something like that? But I think there's an Amstrad one too. I think. I don't know.
Martin's just got Commodore 64 blinkers on.
Yeah, we'll just focus on the two main. We'll focus on the two main ones for now. Yeah, let's talk about that.
I've got a question for you. Asking about the keyboards earlier. I don't know if you saw one of the comments that I posted. Was when I was at my mates who had a Commodore 64, the run stop restore.
Yeah.
Right. Was it just like his keyboard and pretty much every Commodore keyboard that I've seen since that is to do the run stop restore? You had to really
a couple of times. You've got to time it right and hit it hard
key to get it to work.
Yeah.
The more force you had pressing the
I think what it is, and this is only from when I used to repair Commodore 64s. Sometimes when there was a fault on the keyboard, obviously it can be like the tracks or normally controls the keyboard. But when you press that command, it's got to go through like the main CPU and then go to something else, and then it's going to reset the computer. So it just takes that little bit longer. Yeah. So even though when you press it the first time, it's already doing that command, and as you're pressing it the second time, it's executing the first command, but it feels like it's the second command that works. I can't believe someone's asked a question like that I know the answer.
To me, I've just been abusing Commodore 64 keyboards this whole time. And...
I was going to say, if anyone knows about 40 Commodore 64 keyboards, it's
that's never going away, is it?
I've never lived that down.
No.
Go on, man.
Everyone who I've, even the Commodore 64 programmers that I've known over the years while I've been working on them, when you go for hit the restore key, your hand is up here and it comes down with it.
I mean, I wouldn't say the Commodore 64 keyboard is a great keyboard. If you try and type fast on that, you will miss keys. It is all over the place.
The difference between typing on a bread bin and a 64C is completely different. Very, very they've actually ergonomically designed it the second time, I think.
I agree.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but I just had to say it.
To go back to the question, back these on Patreon. They come through the lovely thing, and the main reason I backed the Commodore 64, well, not backed it, it's not Kickstarter, but Patreon, it's whatever that term is, was obviously because, let's face it, back in the day when I used to buy magazines, it was for the tape, it was for the disc, with Amiga format and things like that. So the Zap 64 has an option that comes with the 5.5-inch floppy disk, which is awesome. Nice. But I haven't really delved into the magazine, and the reason why is because in this day and age, with all the Facebook groups that I'm part of for both, anything 8-bit, the YouTube channels, the websites that you read, I don't find myself going for the magazine to find stuff out, and I just wanted to get everyone else's opinion on whether. Do any of you still read them? We might collect them, but is it more just because we collect them because they look like nice things versus do you actually still sit on the toilet and read it? Is your collection of first 12 in the loo where you can grab it and have a read? Just to get people's thoughts on whether they think they still have a place, or is it actually still the desire of getting a cover disc that we want.
I think for me, I would now rather have it online because I used to collect I used to do Sinclair User and your Sinclair and stuff like that. And then again recently with Retro Gamer, I collected all of them. And then I had to give up because it just they eat room space.
Yes,
they literally eat it like it's going out of fashion.
And if you ever try and sell them, the postage on them is ridiculous.
Well, to be fair, when you're Patreon to the Zap64, you do get
PDF version. Yeah.
So
I think that's better than I'd rather have PDF now.
You get that as well.
I mean, it's great having the physical because you can, it's something nice about reading it properly. But I'd much rather have it on PDF now with the magazines.
Yeah, I think you both make a good point there, actually, to be fair. I mean, it is nice to have, the physical magazine.
It's great to have them, but they really do eat the floor space.
And not only that, if we're all honest, we all take the phone when we're in the toilet. Come on. We do.
There's no reading the bottom of the shampoo bottle anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to. That's why I take the phone in.
I am actually quite productive when I'm on the toilet. I've made intros. I've done all sorts. I have
for everyone.
I'm on there for a good 20-30 minutes.
That was a great cover game.
Right. So, guys,
it's a long intro when you've got numb legs. Numb legs. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, the thing I
do hope. My hope for obviously with Zap64, I think I will continue to be a patron of it because I am deeply in love with the floppy disks. That is the thing. I've always said it. A big part of this is the tactileness for me. I love using the Commodore. I love using the tape drive and the disk drive. I'm not going to just use an SD card reader. They're massively convenient for many reasons, but a big part of me is the interaction with it. So I love it for that. But it's a real shame that the Amiga, there isn't an Amiga disc. And of course, it's really hard, right? Because let's face it, the discs are going to become nigh impossible to get hold of.
Yeah.
But I think I would be more inclined to stick with the Amiga one if it did come with
the save icons?
Well, I think I read recently that Japan has only just stopped using the 3.5 floppy. So if you want the floppy disks, Japan is the place to be. Because they've literally only stopped using them now, so there's got to be shitloads there.
Yeah, they were declaring war on them, weren't they? According to some of the things I watched. Specky Disc was way better.
Joe, when you talk about the magazines and everything else, where did you guys stop buying gaming magazines? Because I vividly remember still buying magazines. I remember the Spectrum ones. I remember loving the Amiga ones and waiting each month for the discs. And I remember the PlayStation 1. And I can't remember ever waiting to buy and looking forward to buying a magazine with a cover disc after the PlayStation 1. Where did it stop for you guys?
I remember the ones that we used to get on the front of a PS1 mag, and it was never like a proper PlayStation 1 box. It was always like
small and numbered.
I remember for PS2, the boxes that you got on the front of the mags were the same as the actual PS2 boxes. And I remember getting them like that sometimes. So, whereas for PS3, I can't remember that. So, PS2.
So I give you a terrible confession, which is live on air. Okay.
Oh, here we go. Brace yourself.
When I was a kid, used to take the Amiga discs off of Amiga Power and stick them on the front of Amiga format, and then just buy Amiga format. So I had like 4 discs on the front of the Mac.
Oh, mate.
So you are the reason why that message is on there for if there's no disc on this magazine, ask them behind the desk. You're the reason for that.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll tell you this last one because there's no cover discs.
And Martin's sitting there with all of them.
The cheek of it. There's him saying, "Are you sure you weren't young offenders?" And then we find out he was sticking discs on the front. Look.
Well, they were tough times, man. You had to do
tough times.
Back in the day, got to make ends meet.
There was a comment I think that Scott or someone put up earlier. We were talking about Batty on the cover tape for the. Yes. That
Batty
never got a physical
amazing.
Release, though, did it? That only came out on a cover disc, and how that game never got an actual release is
I
criminal.
thought that game was better than the original.
Yeah, it was. It was a great game.
Yeah, Arkanoid, it just beat Arkanoid hands down.
It's just.
I remember like
Karen.
spending ages playing against my sister on it, and it was brilliant. Loved it.
Yeah, good game.
Great
good
game.
And every single tape you'll find of it has got a torn label because everyone's ripped off the sellotape from it.
Yeah. That damn sellotape.
For me, when it comes back to Martin's original question, I'm a patron to the Zap 64. I've got everyone to start. Buying Zap 64 was a huge part. I didn't have much money back in the day, so for me, games only get to buy with budget, or I could buy 1 or 2 Commodore 64 magazines.
Yeah.
So because the amount of pocket money I got, say the magazine
same
1 and week 3, it meant on week 2 and week 4 I could possibly buy a budget game if I saved me pocket money. So that's how I used to work it. So for me, magazines are a huge part of my nostalgia.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Facebook, and obviously I saw what he's doing, bringing out. He had Ollie involved, doing the artwork, and it was just nostalgia overload. So yeah, a Patreon, I get every magazine, and this is the difference because I live in the Highlands, and sometimes the signal up here, phone signal, is horrendous. When I'm going even to the meetup at Blackpool, I took my copy of my Zap 64 as well, because on the plane I can just open it up, I can just have a read through. Do you know what I mean? In my hotel, as site verify, I knew Martin. The signal, the Wi-Fi was terrible. I hadn't just to read away. I had the light on, simple as that, and it filled that gap perfectly. So for me, I think it's different for everyone. But for me personally, and it's definitely the reason why I support the Patreon, is because I've got that access anytime I want, and it's like a nostalgia thing as well. So for me, yes, 100%, they've definitely got the place. However, the annual, I felt, because there's only so many games get released for the Commodore 64. There's only so many old games you can look at for the Commodore 64. And going over what you've done before. And yeah, I thought the annual might have suffered a little bit due to the every 2 month Zap 64. I mean, that was kind of expected, really. I mean, they do really, really well to fill the 64 magazines, I think, personally.
Sorry, Paul.
About what comes out.
Paul, can I just cut in a sec? Because everyone check their mics a minute, because there seems to be interference. There's something. I don't know what it is. I couldn't hear most of what you said, Paul. I've got to be honest.
Awesome.
Did everyone else hear it all right?
I got it, but
thank God for that.
I found it so arousing. I was heavy breathing down the microphone. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, I noticed that there was something going on, because I couldn't quite hear everything you were saying, Paul. So, yeah.
With you hosting, you get everyone's audio full blast, whereas sometimes ours cuts out when other people talk.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my thoughts. I probably wouldn't view Crash, just because I've not got the nostalgia there. So a lot of what they cover might be meaningless to me. The Amiga one, I've got one of them, and yeah, I do want to, but financially, I can just pick one or the other, really. So I just went for the Commodore 64 because it's,
Yeah.
To me, I think it's nice that they're still doing them, and it's great doing that, but it does not have the same nostalgia and feel as it did back then. Not at all. It's like you look at it and go, oh, that's nice, but it was the waiting for the next episode to come out or the next manual, not knowing what games are going to be in it, not knowing what games are going to be released and all the rest of it. So to me, it's nice that they're there, but it just doesn't have the same nostalgia or feeling towards it. It's nice to see some of the homebrew stuff that's coming out. It's like
a lot of it was the writers as well. The humour in the writers.
Yeah. I mean, last time I bought magazines was the Mega Drive ones they used to release, like Mean Machine, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the Amiga ones, that was the last time really that I bought magazines like that. I haven't bought them in a long time.
I was just going to say, Amiga Old School said there, the comment up from Rachel's, CD32 had some nice cover CDs.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I've
had to, because
I've went on like eBay and whatever to buy some of them, because some of the stuff you got on those you can't buy as like the software doesn't exist. Like that was as far as I've got, I think anyway. So yeah,
Amiga Shopper was the worst one because the magazine was just full of adverts. There was no actual articles in there whatsoever. But it did have good cover discs because it had really good utility cover discs. So if you needed anything, you always pick up an Amiga Shopper and just pop the magazine straight in the bin. And,
how much did you guys
or
like?
Just take the disc off and put them on another.
Well, this is it. You know.
But how many of you?
That's why the sellotape was so bad, wasn't it?
Yeah,
sellotape was so sticky, trying to stop you.
But when you guys used to get your cover tapes and everything else, how many of you, and I'm thinking mostly for the Amiga and for the PlayStation 1, is you had one level of a game and you played it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then when you did finally get the whole game, you went, oh, there's more to it. You know what I mean? It felt weird getting the whole game. Because getting that one, and if you've got like a racing game or a Tekken or something like that, you could play that one level with the two characters over and over again.
I have a question.
Go on.
This will be an interesting one. Out of all of the like free cover tapes, cover discs, whatever that's come free on the front of a magazine, what is the one that impressed you the most?
It impressed me the most. I can remember the one that I remember the most, and it was the Amiga one with Silly Putty on it. Yeah. And I don't know why, because I remember seeing that, and I think I had to save up for that one to get it, and it was the last one on the shelf.
I think it was, for me, it was the Cannon Fodder specials, like
the... he's Nick Marwan.
They did the Christmas one and things like that. They were, because they could only get them on that.
Do you remember Christmas Lemmings?
Yeah, that was it. You always got the Christmas Lemmings thing, or it was Cannon Fodder, or it was the Sensible Soccer crossover with Cannon Fodder, stuff like that. They were.
Joff did a cracking one, Hyperactive for the Specky. That was a great game.
Oh, do you know what was also great as well? And this is what Nintendo Alex Arcade or Arcade Archive is called now. They did a full version of Chaos, didn't they, on the Spectrum?
Yeah.
You know, the famous phrase of Magic Wood.
Yeah.
What was your side? What was your
the one that I remember the most is the one that had Silly Putty on it for the Amiga, and it's not so much the one that it probably sticks to the best game. It's just the one that I always remember.
Yeah.
See, Amiga Old School, nice green see-through disc. That's right. Yes. I remember
that.
Yes. Yeah.
I've still got one somewhere.
Yeah, I remember that vividly. Yeah, that was a cool-looking disc. Got to be honest.
You're absolutely right, though. I mean, before you knew people and you could, get X-copy games from friends and stuff like that in school, that is how I played most games, by getting demo discs. That was it. I had no other means of getting them, so I just played demos over and over.
Do you have the Christmas special of Cannon Fodder and Sensible Soccer?
Not now, I don't know.
Okay, I'll put it in the post. I've got one here. You can.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so I do every now and then. I do look on eBay at sort of like bundles of demo discs, and I generally want to buy like a box of unknown discs, like with like 200 discs in it. I love the idea of just delving into a box of discs and picking them out and finding what's on them.
Paul's pointing. Look, red and blue ones. He's still got them.
So much. I was just amazed. I was like, holy shit! I've never seen like see-through colored discs.
Yeah. Yeah. They were a rarity.
For me, out of all the demo games I played on the front of because I bought so much Commodore 64 magazines. It was a game called Exile, and you got the demo disc on I think it was Commodore format, and oh my god, I played that for so much. It was a demo I played more of than any other demo. It was so hard, but it was so good that you never knew whether you actually got as far as you could go in the game, or if it was just the difficulty level that was just that little bit too much for where you were at. And for me, that like as a demo, that's the perfect like equilibrium. Do you know what I mean? Like you think, oh, sure, like I can get a little bit further, but I couldn't just never get that bit further. And to this day, I don't know if it was to do with the demo, with the physics, because it's like you're in like on a planet and you've a little bit like thrust sort of thing, you know. And I never knew if it was to do with the physics of the game or whether it was like me doing it really bad. And yeah, just for a demo game, I just thought it was the perfect demo game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be mine. Jim.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's Jim's?
What's yours?
Yeah.
Like I say, Joff did the great one with Hyperactive demo.
Oh yes, that's right.
And it would be was it the Toshinden game?
Oh, Battle Arena Toshinden.
Arena Toshinden, yeah. Was that a?
That was PS1. I'm sure.
PS1. Yeah, sure it was.
Was that a cover disc? I can't remember. Or was it the demo disc that you got with it when you bought one? Or
I don't know. I'm trying to think now because I'm sure there was a demo disc, but whether it was on a magazine or you got it,
I can't remember.
There was a couple of different variants of the ones that came with consoles, though. I've got a couple of them.
Yeah, there was a few, wasn't there?
With the PlayStation, remember?
Yeah. Do you remember the dinosaur sitting there for ages, just watching this dinosaur walk around?
That's right. I remember that. Yeah,
that was mad. Seeing that.
Nice one, Mark. Awesome game.
Yeah. Right. That question you asked, 20th century, you did put it in here. I've just got to try and find it now. Yeah, you asked, I think, Paul, didn't you?
But I can't remember what the question was. I didn't see it in the comments.
He put it in the chat. I just got to try and find it.
Oh, shit.
It was a while ago. Yeah, it's like, you lot don't shut up.
Me, don't you? I know. I don't get a chance to talk about retro to anybody up here. So the live stream is like, blah, I've just got so much to say.
Well, you can talk, just nobody cares, though. Nobody.
What's new?
Here it is. Here it is. I've got it. 3 games from the 8-bit era that would not look out of place in the early arcades. That was his question.
I mean, that's going to be a tough one because some of the games I think might already be arcades.
Yeah,
so I don't know what
conversions to 8-bit, weren't they?
But Jetpack, how was that never in the arcade?
It kind of is.
Is it? In what way?
Well, I did. You know when I did Pac-Manic Miner Man, which is hardware. I did Jetpack as well.
I did not know that.
Well, I didn't really announce it. That's why you don't know it.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but IK Plus in the arcade would have been freaking awesome.
Oh yeah,
it would have been freaking awesome, right? Look how successful Street Fighter 2 was, bringing 2 players together to combat out, and yet IK Plus would have been an amazing 8-bit arcade game.
It's 3 controllers.
The problem is that you need a T key in the arcade.
Yeah. I mean, you could have done 3 players, but even 2 players with a computer player is still an amazing combination, and that would have been a fantastic arcade.
Did anyone remember what T key was?
8-bit game, I think. Would work really well. Was it 8 or 16? Yeah. Probably 16-bit. No, it's 8-bit because it's an N64. But Micro Machines in the arcade, when you can actually be standing next to the person you're ramming off the track. Yeah. You know what I mean? To actually just nudge them out the way.
That could get a bit violent, couldn't it?
It could, yeah. You know, have you ever tried to play Micro Machines sharing a pad?
You're right, Sega Zombie.
For mine, do you think Ninja would have worked in the arcades?
No.
Last Ninja? No. Oh, I don't know.
No, it's too long, isn't it? You need that.
But then again, Mario Brothers was on the and Zelda was in the arcades, wasn't it? They did them as a time-based one. Yeah, Zelda was in the arcade. They did it as a time. Once you got a certain period of time to play, then you put more coins in.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Yes, stunt car race.
Can you imagine that?
a sit down cab of stunt car racer.
Stunt car racer. Yes, please. All day long.
I would rather have stunt car racer than hard driving.
Oh God, absolutely. I've tried to play hard driving in the arcade because I got one at the arcade club in Manchester.
Yeah,
it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And the fact that they tried to port it to the 8-bit systems.
I know, it went even worse, didn't it?
Yeah.
What about this one?
Could you imagine your like 7 or 8 year old self seeing a stunt car racer sit down cab? You'd have lost your mind.
You would, yeah.
That would have
You'd
been
lost your money.
wouldn't it?
And if it was done like in a beach buggy kind of
Oh
thing,
no, yeah, well, like a roll cage and everything.
Yeah, that'd have been awesome.
Where is Alex Arcade? You need to build one.
If they had an engine at the front.
Yeah, you can sit and peer over it.
But it was designed so that it broke apart as they did in the game.
Yeah.
One of arcade cabs to get on this.
It's frustrating enough to be an arcade. Airwolf easily would be a coin muncher. That
would definitely be a coin muncher, wouldn't it?
I've ever played.
It wouldn't, but it wouldn't munch your coins because someone would get the ump and break it within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It'd be broken more than it was working.
Yeah.
But I mean, OSG here said Turrican. Like, how good would that have been if it had been in the arcade?
Yeah.
You know, they missed a trick with that. That really should have been on the arcade before it came to system.
Should have been a Turrican version. Yeah. I don't think Turrican itself would have, because like you've got to remember, like these machines are meant to suck your money.
Yeah.
So would have had to made it like harder or less continuous,
I don't know.
something like that. I think maybe. Do you think?
I don't know. I think Turrican can be hard enough the way it is. To be fair.
Oh, don't get us wrong. It's a solid game, but like the whole like arcade thing is that it wants you to put money in.
Target Renegade.
So it is one, but it's not an 8-bit. It's actually a 16-bit. Well, I don't know. It was released on 8-bit, so X out. Now that was hard.
Well, I can't remember that.
It's basically like an underwater version of R-Type. Martin's played it recently on his Monday Night Retro. Yeah, that one was pretty hard. I mean, that would have made a good arcade game.
Yeah.
What's this? There's a computer console exhibition in Manchester. I'm going to elbowing small kids out of the way when I go. What's this here? I had my first play of a Turrican game 2 nights ago. No idea what I was doing.
Shoot everything.
Yeah, kill everything. And also, the most frustrating thing about Turrican is that you can't see what's below you. You know, like when you jump and things like that, you don't know what you're landing on until you've landed on it.
Can you imagine if they did Worms in the arcade as a 2-player little game? I can imagine that being a good 2-player one. They did a good mobile version of that, and it was Worms Fortress, I think it was, where you just had like 2 or 3 worms and you had to destroy their base. It was a lot quicker game.
Makes you wonder why they never done like when it was popular on the Nintendo 64, like a GoldenEye, like a 2-player like arcade thing.
Yeah,
maybe go against each other or something like that.
Did Sensible Soccer never came in the arcades, did it?
No. All the football games in the arcades by then were all American, like side-on views where you score the most ridiculous goals. It's got to appeal to an American audience. So football was never going to work at the arcade.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Project X.
I thought that was my kids waking up then or something, but it's not. It's just people shouting outside. Welcome to Wolverhampton.
Yeah. Mind you, it's not much different where I am these days. I've told you about my neighbours, haven't I?
Saying all this, there must be a way to, giving arcade cabs that can do emulation and stuff like that. It must be fairly simple, I imagine, to actually try some of these games out in an arcade-style cabinet. Modding something.
You've got that anyway, haven't you? With that bar top one you've got.
What's that? It just plays the game on the screen. It's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not like with the like stunt car racer to actually sit there in the machine as well. Can you imagine it also crashing off the side and it rumbles? You know, it would be a completely different experience. I think someone's got to make that.
It sounds like a Kickstarter. We need to get someone on.
Yeah.
I'm already backing it. I'm backing it already. I'm all in.
Some awesome stuff going on in the chat. There's all sorts of games getting mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, I've been
God.
putting them up on the bottom.
Someone said goal,
in
but I don't know who's playing, who scored.
One here, BMX Simulator.
I hated that game.
Oh,
I
come on.
hated
That
BMX
Codemasters.
Simulator.
It was a
Yeah.
Codemasters Quattro. It was a classic.
Saying that, the Commodore 16 version of Kickstart, I'd have played that in the arcade.
And
Yeah.
six. That's a quality.
Yeah, slick. That game always made me laugh, Slicks, because you can actually drive underneath cars, can't you, on that?
Well, if you watch my next video, you might find out. That's all I'm saying.
Is it another top 10?
It may be, and it may be about racing
Yeah,
games.
Hero Arcade Gap would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, someone said up here your favourite one, Paul, Exelon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Exelon on the Spectrum. Like for me, it's a little bit different because I never had a Speccy as a kid. Like when I bought a Spectrum, it was all about playing homebrew and like newer games because I haven't got that like nostalgia for the old games. But eventually, I did buy some older games for the Spectrum, and just randomly I've come across a game called Exelon. And oh my God, I absolutely adore that game. I just think it's for me, it's my favorite Spectrum game apart from Aliens Neoplasma. That's my favorite Spectrum game of all time. I would say it's just I just love that game so much. So yeah, that's like it's like an outsider's view into the Spectrum world.
Yeah.
Backwards in Space would probably make a good arcade game.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on the next, well, I mean, we're talking like the old 8-bits, but when it comes to the 128 and like I've got an Ngo at the minute, but yeah, like Warhawk is an absolute cracker.
Yeah,
Warhawk really is.
No, okay.
I had the I think it was like the demo. Was it the first 4 levels? I think.
Yep.
Yeah. How annoying is that? Where you just get good and then it stops.
I know. It's perfect. It's yet again another perfect demo because you just start thinking, right, okay,
I've got this.
I wonder if this is the full version. You never know, and it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I say, it's my first ever Spectrum Next game. So yeah, good on it. I've been enjoying it a lot.
It's come up a few times there, but Apidia would be an amazing arcade arcade game. That is an absolutely class shoot 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Guns and Ghosts. Well, when we get to the homebrew section, that might come up.
is that the old? It's a Psytronik, right?
Yeah. Psytronik game. Yeah.
That's perfect for an arcade cab, right? Because it's that single screen, platform, run and shoot everything. You can die quite quickly. You can play for a long time, and it actually is quite suited to an arcade. I think.
Can I just say, just put that comment back up?
No, you can't.
Oh.
That one or this one?
One above. Do any of you, because I'm a lad from Sunderland, I think this is a Sunderland word. Have any of you got any clue what a banker is?
Not a clue.
No.
Not a clue, mate.
No.
Next one. Okay, I just thought.
I'm guessing it's something insulting if it is.
Not really. It's
Okay.
a ball bearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as kids, we used to call them bankers.
Right. Okay.
But I just want to know if anyone else cooks them.
Nope. Never heard of it.
Didn't have a clue.
I think so anyway. That's what I used to call them. So
I wouldn't have got it in the month of Sundays.
No.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we're coming up. Well, we are on over the 2-hour mark. So normally we do homebrew at the end. So I'm thinking, let's do that now.
Yeah.
Which means, Paul, your question, we might have to do that another time, mate, because otherwise we'll be going 3 hours. At
Oh
this
God, yeah. Ah,
Yeah.
fair. That's all right.
Right. So, because I really want to get on homebrew because I've got some. So,
Thinking about it, I haven't. Apart from
Really?
the next games, I've not purchased any homebrews for a while.
Sai hasn't got homebrew, right?
Not new
Everything's
ones.
wrong
I mean,
in the universe.
hang on. I'll dig out the old carry case here that looks like a CRT. I'll find some in there.
That's
Hang
cool.
on. Show us that. I want to have a look at that. Put it up again, Si.
That's going to annoy Scott though because I beat him to this when it
I
when
like
it came
that.
up.
That's good. Yeah.
I
that's
even got the
smart.
plugs and everything on the back.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
You don't want it looking fake with no wires in it, do you?
No, that's right. Attention to detail, there.
Yeah.
even the bottom looks got something on it.
Cool.
So
Wow.
the only problem with this is if you open it from here, everything falls out. You're going to make sure you
Yeah,
light
don't
the
do
black
it then.
first. The amount of times that I've done that online. So
Yeah.
I'll pick some random from here. It's all good.
Right. Okay. Right. So I've picked up, technically, I picked these up last month, but they turned up after the last stream. So hang on, let's put this on solo. So, yeah, like I said earlier, these are all Psytronik. So I've got Guns and Ghosts.
Brilliant game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've never played it.
Awesome.
Only one I've played actually out of these three so far. I haven't had time for the others. I've got Sub Hunter, which funny enough Scott mentioned, I think, on the last stream.
Yeah, that one.
I think he played it on the Amstrad. And the last one is, you have to look at it, it's got a funny font on this, Velation.
Say that again. Say that.
Velation. Yeah. So, right, so basically that one is a kind of like a submarine sort of game for the Spectrum. I should point out the other two were C64. This one's for the Spectrum. So yeah. Well, what did it sound like? I said there, guys. No, actually, don't.
The issue?
Oh god.
So yeah, they're my homebrews anyway for this month. Like I say, I've only played Guns and Ghosts, but it's a great game. I did have a digital download of that, but unfortunately, for some reason on the C64 Mini, it plays too fast. So, and I was going to get it physical anyway. So when I do a video on it, it'll be on the original C64 with camera in front of the screen, but it will play at proper rate then. So, right, Si, found anything?
Yeah, I got a couple here. I picked 4 out the box. 4 that I don't think I've actually shown off before or even done a video on. So we have Captain Drex. These are all going to be Chronosoft because this is the Chronosoft box that I've got. This is a Spectrum tower defense game. Yeah, from what I remember, it was actually quite fun.
Yeah.
We have Fun Park, which is basically theme park for the Spectrum.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Albatrossi, that is an actual really quite fun golf game, but you can like change the ball to like a bouncing ball to a steel ball or stuff like that. Yeah, and it's just quite a fun game. And this one here is a shooter called, is it Luminatsky? Basically, it's a shooter, but all done with Petsky characters, is it?
Oh yes.
And
I've
this
seen screenshots.
is actually a really good game, but it's quite a difficult one to film because it looks a bit odd when you try and record it. But very, very fun game, this one. So yeah, that's my pickups that I've got from whenever I pick these up.
And I'm guessing that they're all Spectrum games, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. It's a silly question, really, wasn't it? It's like if I said to Martin, did you pick up anything other than C64? Well, actually, no, Amiga, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should have thought about that, really. Anything you picked up recently, Martin?
Well, I would love to be showing you my copy of Technomage, but I
Just
think
look good. Can I see the back
Jim,
of the box?
more chance of solving the FPGA issue than I've got of getting my copy of Technomage from Bitmapsoft, frankly. Yeah, I'm afraid that is still an ongoing saga of not receiving that game. And hopefully one day I will. But I did think I'd draw attention to a couple of homebrew games that I'm not sure if people know about that I'm a big fan of, and it's actually a sequel of games. And the first one in the pairing is Knight and Grail. So this is like a really cool platformer game where you're this knight with a honking great big sword. Fighting your way through dungeons, and you've got to find secret doors and items to help you through the levels. And you can also coat your armor in different colors, and that protects you from certain colored damage. So, for instance, if there's slime, you can pick up the armor that protects you from that, and allows you to pass through certain areas of the dungeon and so on and so forth. So, it's a really cool game. It's a classic. You're going to rescue the princess from the dragon, and then the sequel. So that's it. Nightingale. Highly recommend it. Very
That's on
playable.
my wish list. That one's on there.
Yeah, and then the sequel is the story reversed. So this is called Pains and Aches, and this is after you rescue the princess. The wizard that imprisoned her then essentially imprisons the knight and casts you out. So the game changes a bit from being very melee. This one's very melee based. So obviously you've got your big sword, you're hacking and slashing your way through the dungeon and doing that sort of stuff. Where this one, the princess is actually a mage. So it turns much more into magic-based combat. So you're doing ranged fighting, you're using spells and that to get through the levels. And it's a really, again, very nice-looking game. Great music, great sound effects. It's Psytronik, so the quality's there as always with those guys. But yeah, a really nice, fun pairing of games essentially in Nightingale and Pains and Aches.
Cool. Yeah, they are both on my wish list. Them too.
Yeah, I definitely recommend them.
Yeah. So, Jim, quick question: like, do you pick up physical homebrew? Like,
yeah, I have done. I've got a couple of the. I've got Delta Shadow and a couple of others, and
Delta Shadow. That one's a good game, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's,
I'm trying to think. Has Scott got that?
I think Scott's got the Delta Shadow. There was another one that came out as well. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the same game, but you got like a different character. But for the Spectrum, it's a stunning game. It really is. Delta Shadow.
I like Amiga's comment. Jim doesn't need to buy homebrew because he builds them. He writes them.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of why I put it in that way when I said, "Do you buy any physical media?" Because he codes it. So.
He wants a new game.
Do you get a chance to try other people's games for them before they release them?
Some do, yeah.
So you get a heads up of what's coming.
Yeah, but it's usually you usually just send the file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So Delta Shadow.
Yes, Amiga, old school. I do programming.
Yeah.
Just a little.
I'm doing a lot at the moment. Like,
Paul, anything you've picked up?
So not just yet, but when we were at Blackpool, there was a guy done. They have like the panel guests. They had John Romero on. That guy called Graham Cowie, who's from Sunderland and is a game developer for the Amiga. And he's making some really, really exciting homebrew games. He's redone a couple of old ones that have been done properly. He was a really interesting guy to listen to when he was on the panel for homebrew games. So today, I ordered this game here, which is called Devil's Temple, the Son of Kung Fu Master. Now, if you go to geezergames.co.uk for £35, you will receive an Amiga 3.5-inch floppy disk and a CD32 disc, so you can play them on both. You can also buy his games from itch.io. The games are on there to download if you want to play them on your Mini, your Maxi, etc. But if you want a physical copy of this game, then it's hopefully going to be out in the next few weeks. And definitely go over. Hopefully, Lee can put it in the channel description down below after the stream. We can update it. We'll put a link in where you can go, where you can have a look at these games. He's done like a fair few games now, and this one, Devil's Temple, it's like a side-on. It's like a fighting game. Reminds me a little bit of Renegade, but it's like Final Fight or something like that. But it looks really, really cool, and like I can't.
And Martin's already pre-ordered all of them.
Yeah. So,
He released 4 games, so I figured it's only polite to order all 4 of them.
I could only afford the one, and that was the one that it's just completely stood out. It was OSG who's in the comments. He mentioned this guy's channel quite a while back. He's from Sunderland as well, as I said before. So it's great to see someone from like back home doing really well, you know. So yeah, you've definitely got to give this a look. I think he's uploading. He's got a YouTube channel. He's uploading a video, I think tomorrow, with like the last bit of gameplay. So if you can, maybe go and check that out. But really, really, we need to support this guy because I've got a feeling that he could bring out some amazing games. And he did kind of maybe, well, I don't know. I'm hoping one day he might do a Commodore 64 or a Spectrum kind of homebrew game. It might be there. It might be there.
But to be honest, the Amiga needs the love in the physical homebrew scene, right? There isn't too much out there. So there's lots of Spectrum. There's a good amount of Commodore for 64. But in the Amiga scene, I found it really hard to find, physical media for the homebrew. So as much as I'd love to see him do other things, if he just focused on the Amiga, that'd be amazing because it needs the love. I think it needs it. It needs it.
So that's like kind of what I'm buying. Anyway, me the pre-order's in, so really looking forward to receiving that and getting to play that. But yeah, I'm just going to do the same as Martin. Really, I just want to mention a game that's available. This game's available from Psytronik, and it was the earlier version of the Shadow over Hawks Mill, and it's this game here, the Legend of Atlantis. Now, this game,
Martin's just looking if he's got it. If
I
not,
think
he's
I
gonna go and buy it.
if he hasn't, he has to because
he will. He's probably clicking on it now.
This is an absolutely awesome homebrew game. It really is. The music is just, you know me. I like my in-game music, and that music satisfies me. It's a really, really cool game. But it's like the pre-runner to Shadow over Hawks Mill. It's the same people who've done Icon 64. I think Trev Story was working on it. It's a really awesome game, and it was like £7 or £8, and they've got a lot of copies in stock. Mia went up to about like £10 now, but it's definitely worth a buy. Like 100%. For a budget, like for what you're paying, it's definitely worth it. Definitely pick it up.
Do you know, I've realised we've gone through this stream and we've took the mickey out of Martin about how much homebrew he buys, but none of us have actually talked about how much stuff Skelly buys.
Yeah,
I think we can safely say that Skelly's got a bigger problem than you have, Martin.
Oh yeah, that guy is.
He's got a bigger problem than Martin.
Well, Skelly has, isn't he? Let's be honest. Come on.
I don't know.
Maybe not in the homebrew scene, but certainly in collecting stuff. I mean, the amount of stuff he's. I think maybe, I think in the homebrew stuff, I might have. I'm getting close to owning every Psytronik game that's ever been released. So that's.
So have you got Sub Hunter yet? Then
I actually don't have that one because I have. I want to see what it's like because
I can review it before you get it.
Yeah, that is one you've got before me.
Quick.
Yeah, I got one before he did.
But actually, I don't know where I got it from. I don't know if I got it from you, Paul, or someone. But I have actually got the original Sub Hunter on the C64. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any difference in the two.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to drop off in 5 minutes if this carries on. All right, I have to go because I've got to get up there.
To be honest, I'm going to wrap it up now anyway because
that's all right. I didn't want to say it and just.
Come on, let's see if we can make it a 5-hour stream.
I've got 2 words for you. One starts with F and the other one starts with O. But I don't want to swear because Jim's on here.
Pereira Orozco, he was a cracking player back in Championship Manager '93.
You've started him off again now, Lee.
Right, okay. So I'm thinking, since that side needs to jump off and it is getting later, how about we'll go round and just say what we've got coming up, if anything. Sai, what you got coming up?
The Auric videos, once I've got the cable, and then just I'm working my way through the Spectrum Next ones. I think, Jim, what's this one called? Because I can never pronounce it properly.
It's Tiverian.
There we go. That one. I think we're doing that one next. And yeah,
I've got a
that's pretty much it,
Tiverian
really.
too as well.
Yeah. So Spectrum Next and the Auric stuff. And you know me, I'll probably stick a live stream here and there just when I feel like it.
Yep.
Cool. Martin.
Yeah, so always do the Monday Night Retro. So if you're around on a Monday at 8 o'clock on a Monday night, I will always grab an old system. I'm very much sort of in the Commodore camp, as you know, so I'll probably be doing Commodore 64 or Amiga. But, you know, we do mix things up. I haven't got the Harlequin out for a little while, so I might do that soon.
Yes.
Because I want to try out some more Spectrum homebrew. But, yeah, Monday Night Retro, 8 o'clock, as always. And then the next kind of videos will be, I need to keep reviewing the homebrew games that we've talked about. I have a plethora of, frankly. So some more content out about that. And, you know, it's my birthday tomorrow, so maybe I'll get a little prize tomorrow from the missus.
Should we do it, guys? Should we do it? Should we do it? Come on.
I don't know. It's just still copyrighted.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Hobby Lodge.
Happy birthday
to
you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you
There
very
you go.
much.
Here's a moment for you.
It is. So yeah, you know, lots of stuff coming out of that. And I know you and I got a little project we're going to work on as well,
Yes,
in
we
the
are,
more
yes.
miniature side of things. So there's hopefully stuff coming up there. I've got to do some more painting soon, so that will be coming up on the channel as well. So yeah, all sorts of bits and pieces. But the staple is always that Monday Night Retro. So I'd love to see people on that if they can make it.
Cool. Jim.
Yeah, well, Sunday I will be doing my stream, and I will be showing people the start of the big multiplayer game that I'm working on.
Oh,
yeah. Did I show you guys at Play Expo?
Yeah, you told me about it. You didn't actually show me.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. So I will show what we've got on it so far, and where we're going with it, and how the server will be taking
It's an
part.
online game for the next, isn't it? Really, so multiplayer online.
It's
Like an MMO RPG type game.
Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
But in space, obviously.
Wow, that'd be amazing.
Baggers likes it being in space, but it's not Baggers. It's basically when you start, you get a selection of 4 team colours, which is the specky colours, obviously the red, yellow, green, and blue.
mm-hmm.
And then you stick with that team, and you're presented with a galaxy map, which has about 427, I think, solar systems on the map. And in each solar system, there's 16 planets. And so if you complete all the 16 planets, which is like a game in itself, each planet is a game in itself, then you get your team color on the galaxy map. And the idea is, if you have 4 adjacent, like, because there's an up, down, left, and right of a like a circle. If you get all 4 that surround the circle, it fills the circle in your team color. And the idea is to spread across the whole of the map. But obviously, it's live 24/7.
That's awesome.
So it should be like lots of good fun going on with the battles. So,
And obviously, with the next Kickstarter when it comes out, we'll have a lot more players as well.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see how it goes. In my head, it's going to play really well. It's going to be good, and like you'll have like players teaming up and organising like raids and stuff, and it should be really good.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds
like I
interesting.
say, I'll show more on Sunday. Show the game, what we've got so far.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll have a look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Paul.
Right, are you ready?
Yep.
There we go.
Well, first thing I want to kind of get stuck into is I want to do a review on Warhawk, which is my first ever physical ZX. Well, not a ZX. Next Spectrum game. So it's my first ever actual physical game. I only really do reviews on games I've got physically. So yeah, time to do that. I was speaking to Sai about it the other day, actually, when he was doing his video on Bags in Space.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of happy that he'd done that one because of
I knew you had Warhawk, because I was like, I've already spoke about Warhawk before, so I definitely a conscious decision.
So yeah, looking forward to doing that. I'm gonna crack on with me no nonsense top 10s, which is just a short, under 10-minute video of a genre of Commodore 64 games at the minute. And we just go through a top 10. There's no commentary over the top, nothing like that. There's a little description before, then you see a bit of the gameplay with the music, a little bit of information, and then we crack on. There's 10. They're in no particular order. It's up to you to decide what order you think they should go in or whatever I missed out. Then I've got my essential top 10, which is where I look at every different system, and I've got 10 genres, which for me are the most important ones, and I go through only the top game in each one. So some of the games I've got to leave out, and that is absolutely criminal, because sometimes games are top heavy towards a certain genre where there's just so many good games and you can only name one. So that's quite difficult. But for that one, with it being on the ZX Spectrum, I'm doing that with Sega Zombie, because I feel me and him, we kind of like the same kind of games. So I need him to introduce me to a few games from back in the day. I'm going to play them, and then we're going to have some sort of discussion, and then we're going to come up with our top 10. So I'm hoping that Scott will be cool with that. I think he will. Well, I've spoken to him a little bit about it before, so yeah. Other than that, I want to try and organise a quiz for this month in October. I'm hoping Nerdy Geezer, you might be able to take part. I was trying hopefully get Novabug on. He wants to come on the quiz. So I'm going to have a chat with him, a chat with you. Hopefully get that set up for this month if possible. And then at Christmas, I was thinking about, because we've spoke about it a little bit, I was thinking about doing another quiz special. So I'm going to do one on football for the World Cup. And then I think, because we've spoken about it on a few different streams about 80s and early 90s cartoons, I was thinking to do a quiz on that. That might be an interesting quiz
so
too.
Will Retro Chef be on that one then?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I might have to pay for StreamYard, do you know what I mean? And just get maybe 10 of us on there and really go for it, Let's make it a proper Christmas special. So I don't know. We might do something like that.
So not a lot on then, Paul.
Well, I mean, that's good up for Christmas. We're only in October, so that's spanning. Yeah, that's everything. It saves me having to do a channel update. Because that was it.
Lee, you're not on.
Lee, you muted yourself, mate.
Jesus Christ, I was vaping, that's why. Right. Glad you guys are here. I keep doing
Over
this,
the professional.
Yeah. Right, okay. It's because I turned it off because Paul was doing his acceptance speech and
You want the snoring to come through.
Okay, let's be serious now. Right, 26th for this month on my channel, Retro 5 stream. It's an arcade special. And it's with Arcade Archive, which was formerly known as Nintendo Arcade. There is a reason why we're doing it, and there is a reason, obviously, why it's an arcade special. But you'll find out all about that when that happens.
Is it opening?
Oh, I have to tune in and find out.
I don't, Jim. Tell you.
Yeah. This Friday, I'll be looking at Guns and Ghosts on the C64 because I haven't done a video on that. Although I probably should have done Sub Hunter really because I've got to beat Martin to it. So
It's true if you don't do it quick.
Yeah.
I'll be in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one or the other. We'll see.
We should do a collab on it, and you do the new one, I'll do the old one. We'll do a bit of comparison.
That's not a bad idea.
That sounds
That's
good.
not a bad idea. Yeah. And speaking of collabs, that's sort of like put me into the next part. So I've got a collectibles channel called NG Collectibles because I do like my collectibles as well. And me and Martin.
Nice t-shirt, Paul.
Yeah. Me and Martin are doing like a little crossover. I'm not going to give it away. Let's keep it a secret. But I'm going to do the first part, and then Martin's going to do his part on his channel, and all will be revealed. That's all I'm going to say. Other than that, I don't think I've got anything else planned. It's pretty much just a case of just do whatever I feel like doing, I suppose. So yeah, that's me. Right.
Can I just say, OSG made a comment there about the Amiga World Cup. Yeah, I need some serious help with getting that going because it's quite like if we were to try and do an Amiga World Cup, there's like an Amiga Live website sort of thing where you can do like 2 players. And what I'm trying to sort out with them is how to broadcast that on YouTube Live while 2 different people play against each other. Yeah. And it's like, it might be just worth, I don't know. We might have to try and think of some other way of doing it because it just seems very, it's way more complicated than what I realised.
Right, thank you, Doug. Yeah, I got that impression actually, Paul, because we've had a few conversations us lot about that, haven't we? Yeah,
hard going, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Right, all I wanted to say is thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you to all my guests, and thanks, Jim, for coming on because
no worries.
You know, so that it was really nice of you to come on, and
happy to come on anytime.
Great, and I'm sure everybody in the chat's enjoyed it as well because there's where everyone's talking to you in the chat. You can see it.
Jim's a legend. He's a legend.
Exactly.
A proper celebrity rather than us jokers, so it's nice.
Yeah, so thanks everybody in the chat. It's been great. It's been very active. Been some good questions in there too. So, and like I say, thank you guys for all you that came on. It's been a good one. I've really enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, enjoyed this. Always do.
Always. Yeah.
No, I enjoyed doing it. I'll be honest. I really do enjoy doing it because let's be honest. I mean, not everybody's into their micros, but there are, there's a niche sort of amount of people. So it's good to see people keep coming into the chat, and some of them are new as well. So that's even better. So yeah,
let's say micros is proper retro. Come on.
Micros are ace. It's quite sad really when they swapped over to the consoles because the way I see it, it was like there's such a big generation of people that missed out on making games.
Yeah.
And who knows what classics we could be playing now had they had the opportunity to make games.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's one of the things I love about the homebrew is the fact that what they can push these systems to now.
Yeah,
it's impressive. Exactly. It's impressive.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, okay, guys. So, as tradition on this show, we all have to do our dodgy game show wave at the end as I roll the credits.
Bye, everybody.
Guys. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Here we go.